not just a case. You're not just a client. You're a person, and you deserve support. You deserve simplicity. You deserve communication. When you hire an attorney, you deserve clear, risk-free advice that guides you to the best possible outcome in your injury case. And that's exactly what the advocates have been providing for over 30 years. After your accident, you deserve closure. You deserve compassion. You deserve peace of mind. You deserve an advocate.
This is the Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find the Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, the Monty Show live on your YouTube machine. How the heck are you? It is Tuesday, July 22nd already. Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025. And it's going to, I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a car crash of epic proportions today because Kirk Cignetti just should not ever do another press conference.
It's gotten worse.
Rhett Lashley, bro, I get it. You're trying to justify that non-TV deal you have. The unmitigated, unchecked jealousy of the SEC. And I know I read the comment section. We're an SEC show that loves the Pac-12 and loves the Mountain West, and all we do is root for Notre Dame.
You're a homer, is the first part.
Coach, I totally get it. And every day somebody will say, oh, you love the SEC. You hate the SEC. You love the Pac-12. You hate the Pac-12. Can I just tell you, every single P4 Media Day, what was the one thing everybody talked about?
I hate the SEC.
Every single one of them, including some folks in the SEC. It's remarkable to me how much jealousy, how much, and I don't even think jealousy is too strong of a word. We've just been sitting here, not that you care about this, but Jake cuts all of our video. I generally source a lot of our video and our audio. Jake cuts it. We're like sitting here listening to the video.
It's
and we're like, dude,
F you, F this, the SEC blows. We're
right?
like, dude, come on.
I mean, it is remarkable to me how many people are talking about the fact, well, the SEC, well, we'll just schedule like the SEC does. Okay, do that, please. I am amazed for everybody who says the SEC sucks. Well, if the SEC sucks, then why is everybody talking about them? If the SEC is so overrated, why is everybody talking about it? Why is Rhett Lashley spending half his press conference today talking about it? Why is Kirk Cignetti talking about the SEC in Ohio State? Can't even pronounce Ohio State correctly.
Yeah, maybe learn how to speak.
It is pretty amazing to me.
I win. Google me.
It is pretty amazing to me that a guy who says, I win, Google me, goes on a rant about Ohio State. And Kirk Cignetti drives me crazy. And it's this kind of just veiled stupidity. Because what is it? You watch this clip of Captain Ohio State, and you tell me, is Kirk Cignetti just uninformed and just wildly unintelligent? Or is he living in a fantasy land with his head up his ass because he has no idea just how mediocre he was last year?
Here's the bottom line, okay? We picked up an extra home game, and we play 9 conference games. You know, the 2 best conferences in college football, any football guy that's objective will tell you, is the Big Ten and the SEC, all right? 12 of the 16 SEC teams play 3 G5 or an FCS game. 12 of those teams play 36 games, 29 G5 games, and 7 FCS games, and 1 less conference game. All right? So we figured we'd just adopt SEC scheduling philosophy. You know, some people don't like it. I'm more focused in on those 9 conference games. You know, not only do we want to play 9 conference games, okay, and have the 4-4 championship, the playoff format, okay? We want to have play-in games to decide who plays in those playoffs. Championship weekend, let's play 3 versus 6 and 4 versus 5. You want to decide that on the field, make sure everybody's strength of schedule is what it needs to be? Let's make everybody play 9 conference games, and on championship weekend, 3 will play 6, 4 will play 5. And there's still room for another at-large in that format. And why shouldn't the Big Ten have 4 AQs? Because Ohio State actually finished 4th in the conference at the end of the season. Indiana and Penn State were tied for 2nd. They won the tiebreaker. Ohio State won the national championship. Okay?
It's Ohio State, you dick.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Second of all, are you really? Oh, look, Ohio State finished 4th in a conference. Okay.
Bro.
Can I just explain? This guy is complaining about strength of schedule. Of all the blowhards in the Big Ten,
And there's a lot of blowhards.
who should not be complaining about strength of schedule,
Google me.
it's Kirk Cignetti. I'll remind you, he just said Ohio State finished 4th in the Big Ten last year. Is that the same team who absolutely road graded you on Thanksgiving weekend when you showed up at the shoe and absolutely got crushed by Ohio State? You mean that Ohio State that finished 4th in the Big Ten? Ohio State? Is that the because or are you trying to say Cuyahoga State? Because they were on your schedule last year too. Florida International in Western Illinois. Oh, but that was last year, Marty. He didn't make the schedule. We're just trying to figure it out now. Okay, you're right. So 2025.
So get your facts straight.
2025 is going to be significantly better scheduling at Indiana because Ohio State Cignetti has decided that he's going to write the best schedule ever because he would only want to play the toughest games because we all have 3 versus 6 and 4 versus 5. And let's make sure that strength of schedule is where it's supposed to be.
That's
Captain.
not what we're about.
Ohio State. Okay. Well, then how do you explain starting your schedule, Captain, with Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, and Indiana State? Holy cow. Hand them the trophy now.
Man.
Oh, and if that weren't bad enough, then we got to throw in UCLA, Maryland, and Purdue to end the season. Toughest game on that schedule? Probably Oregon, right? You got to go to Eugene October 11th, and I cannot wait to see the Ducks crap on your face because, frankly, this makes Indiana so unlikable.
Yeah.
So unlikable.
Oh, I win. Google me.
You want to sit here and talk about how strength of schedule is a problem?
Google me.
Bro, you're rolling out with Old Dominion, Kennesaw State. Anybody know where Kennesaw State is? Neither does Kurt
Don't talk
Cignetti.
crap about my team.
But I'm sure he Googled it. And Indiana State. And then you want to talk about, we had Ohio State finish 4th in the conference last year. Anybody want to tell me where Maryland and UCLA and Purdue finished? Has Purdue won a game this decade?
Because this team is just hot ass.
Strength of schedule. What strength of schedule? How did you do at the stadium and during the playoffs? Ohio State finished 4th. League's great. Okay, so the 4th best team in the Big Ten, allegedly, that same Ohio State team that went on to win the single best national championship we've ever seen, Ohio State. You mean the Ohio State coach?
Ohio State.
Ohio State. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
This is what I can't stand.
It's got to be one of the worst takes I've ever heard.
Revisionist history at its finest.
I don't know where this guy gets off saying that somehow, the SEC strength of schedule is worse than the Big Ten's. I don't know how you make that case.
And then I go and I'm like, dude, if you're going to rip the Big Ten and the SEC and the scheduling thing, if you're the Big Ten ripping the SEC, okay.
Because what did you really do? And I think this is important to know before you make the point. What did he do in the clip? He said anybody who's not a buffoon, any logical football person knows the Big Ten and the SEC are the best conferences in college football. And then here, let me roll out an absolute trash take about strength of play difficult opponents, even though we never play difficult opponents.
It
Like,
just
what do you mean?
it drives me crazy.
And listen, I'm all here for, hey, it's your media day. You're gonna take your 10 minutes at the podium and light the world on fire. I'm good with it. But at least come up with a good take. Like, this is one of the most dumb takes I've heard because, again, there's no way to substantiate that you play a more difficult schedule than the SEC.
Because I'm just going to roll this back out here.
Like, good luck, dude.
I'm just going to roll this back out here. The SEC only has 2 teams outside the top 50 in Massey rating over the last 10 years. Right? Okay. Monty, that's just one. Okay, well, how about 2? Right? If you look at SOR over the last 10 years, the SEC only has 2 teams outside the top 50. And you look at SOR, strength of record, by the way, strength of record is an incredible barometer, right? And how do you deny this? You have 8 teams outside the top 10 in strength of record. You have 7 teams outside the top 50 in Massey in the Big Ten. And frankly, you look at this, the Big 12 is only 1 team behind you in the strength of record. The Big Ten, the arrogance of the Big Ten to believe that you have the depth that the SEC has is crazy to me.
Well, and I want to peel that back a little bit too, because I think it's a good point. Is it that they're arrogant, or is it that they feel the need to say outlandish things because they know that this is probably one of the few opportunities they're going to get to talk about these topics without it being a game week or whatever, because my thing is this is clearly a maybe not officially a joint front, if you will, by the ACC and the Big Ten, in my opinion. But we're going to get to Rhett Lashley momentarily. But if you listen to Cincinnati and Lashley and other people in the conversation, it's very clear that these conferences want as many AQs as they can get so that they don't have to beat the SEC on the football field. That's what this is.
Yeah.
You're saying, hey, we want as Kurt, the savior of Indiana, put it, we want the 4-4 college playoff format thing to be the deal. Right? We don't want to see a highest state in the regular season. We just want our AQ.
You want 4 automatic qualifiers.
And you want that because you don't want to have to play the SEC in a heads-up game that you're in because you're Indiana and you didn't have the strength of record or strength of schedule to justify being the AQ. You weren't able to win the conference. You weren't able to do that. And again, I have no problem saying it. I don't buy for a second that Indiana's capable of winning the Big Ten. You're not better than Ohio State. You're not better than
most people have Penn State as the best team in the league right now.
Yeah, everyone's got Penn State. I think they got 35 first place votes in the preseason poll. So everyone's got Penn State as number 1, which is absolutely ridiculous to me. But either way, Penn State and Ohio State, you're not beating those 2. You're definitely not beating Oregon.
And we're going to find out about Oregon very early in the season in October.
In all this speculation about Dante Moore, is he a Heisman guy or is he a bust? Like, the guy can play football, dude. Like, they're going to be fine. Like, I just watch these guys get up on the dais, and every single year we got to sit here on the program and talk about how someone made an idiot of themselves because they were sitting here trying to make a point that you can't make factually.
And then I just go back to Darth Sankey. And what he said about strength of schedule.
Whether people want to agree with it or not, that's up to them. We can go through the analytics and show the rigor of our schedule is different than anyone else's, period. And we had a learning session in September of the CFP about strength of schedule. And strength of schedule isn't everything, but it is an important factor. I remember very clearly one of the messages was if you play the top-ranked team and the 130th ranked team, those 2 games average out to 65.5. If you play 65 and 66, they average out to 65.5. And so the advisor said, you're just as well playing 65 and 66. Here's my problem. But for maybe 2 teams in a year, we don't have 65 or 66, and everybody else has a group.
How is that incorrect? And so then I say, okay, well, what say you, Rhett Lashley at SMU?
Again, I don't think it's up for discussion. It should be 16. More is better. Now, I don't think you got to go crazy over that because it is football, but we saw last year what the playoff can do. On-campus games, fantastic. Everything it does for our game, more exposure, more access, creates more fan bases and more people involved in the season throughout the year, more conferences. When it comes to our league, it should be talked about more. It should be easy. I just shed some light. I mean, there's only been 3 leagues win a national championship that have teams in their league right now since 1990. All the teams that have won a national championships in 1990 are either in the ACC, the SEC, or the Big Ten. Since I mentioned in the last 15 years, we're tied for the second most championships with 3 with the Big Ten. I don't know why that's not talked about more. We have national brands. We've won championships. The revenue is almost double who's fourth. We have our own network, the competition, the investment. I just think it speaks for itself. And so most people want to see things decided on the field, so let's let it happen that way. I don't think there's any question that if it stayed at 12, we're every year a multi-bid league. I mean, Miami should have been last year at 10-2. There's no question they were one of the top 12 teams in America.
Okay, so I don't even know where to begin with how not informed this take is. I thought what you did in the past doesn't matter anymore for what's happening in the playoff today. Now, you're telling me in the ACC, you want 16. But wait, the Big Ten wants 12 and 4 automatic qualifiers. So one perspective from Ohio State says, hey, the SEC sucks. We're staying at 12. Rhett Lashley, who got absolutely humiliated in the playoff last year, now says he wants 16 and the SEC is top heavy. Like, quote, the SEC has had the same 6 schools win the championship since 1964. Okay, well, now I know that we're not supposed to deal in fact, right? But I don't see how we don't call this out. Is one of the stupidest takes I think I've ever heard. Well, why have they had, even if that were in fact the barometer or the bar or whatever, why are we ripping Georgia and Alabama for being dynasties? Because you know that's a huge part of why they've won these championships. But what it says is that you're not willing to have a conversation about the real quality of what the college football playoff is. You're not willing, by any stretch of the imagination, to talk about the fact that Georgia, Alabama, and LSU won, because it's just 6 teams, 2019 LSU, 2020 Alabama, 21 and 22 Georgia. That's called domination. Before that, it was Clemson, right? Then before that, it was Alabama, and then Clemson, and then Alabama, and then Florida State, and then in 2013, Florida State, right? Like that's 2013, 12 years ago. But since 1964, because they've had dynasties and they've dominated for long stretches. But you conveniently leave that out.
Why is it that Florida State's in the ACC and not the SEC to this very day?
Why did Bobby Bowden say they chose the ACC instead of going to the SEC when they flipped affiliations?
Oh, that's right. Because it's easier to win a natty through the ACC than it is the SEC.
That's exactly what Bobby Bowden said. The path to the championship was far easier in the ACC through the SEC.
So this is not new. This argument is not new or somehow, just now starting. This argument has been retreaded like a million times. And the difference is when dudes who are 1 year into the league and not taking a distribution start talking about what a league should do or what the system should be, I think we've reached a point where I just want to say, listen, bro, nobody would be listening to you if you weren't in the ACC, if you hadn't bought your way in. And the problem is the very format that you're sitting here ripping and criticizing and trashing on is the same format that saw you get in over a 10-win Miami team. So
Yeah.
I just think it's a really foolish, short-sighted, and frankly uneducated take out of Rhett. And I would double down on that and say out of, Mr. Ohio State, Kurt Netty.
And then I look at Wisconsin, who by all accounts has one of the most difficult schedules in the Big Ten this year. Miami of Ohio, Middle Tennessee State. At Alabama, Maryland, at Michigan, Iowa, Ohio State, at Oregon, Washington, at Indiana, Illinois, Minnesota.
Yeah, it's tough.
And then you go to Tony Petitti, who says 6-3 in the Big Ten. I would argue that's a great record. If you're Wisconsin and you win 6 games, Miami of Ohio, Middle Tennessee State, you're not beating Alabama. Maryland, Michigan, Iowa, you're not probably going to win that game. Although it's at Camp Randall, so let's give them 5. Ohio State's a loss. Oregon's a loss. Washington's a loss. You'll probably lose at Indiana, right? Illinois at home should be a win. That's 6. And then Minnesota at Minnesota should be a win for 7. So the most difficult schedule in the league is 7-5. And that's supposedly a great record. 6-3 would be unbelievable in conference. No, it would not. 6-3 is not a good record in this conference. If you're let's say Penn State, look at Penn State's schedule. Nevada, Florida International, Villanova, those are their and I know we only play tough games here. Oregon at UCLA, Northwestern, at Iowa, at Ohio State, versus home for Indiana, at Michigan State, Nebraska, at Rutgers. Is that a difficult schedule? That's not a difficult schedule. That's not a difficult schedule at all. What about Ohio State? Texas. Oh my God, wait. The reigning national champions are going to open with Texas, Grambling, Ohio, at Washington, Minnesota, at Illinois, at Wisconsin, Penn State, at Purdue, UCLA, Rutgers, at Michigan. They're tough games on that schedule. Texas, who most, including me, think is the best team in the country. At Washington's a tough game. At Illinois is a tough game. I think at Camp Randall's always a tough game. Penn State's a tough game. And then that's really it from there forward. Purdue, UCLA, Rutgers, and Michigan are not. They've got 5 really difficult games at Ohio State. And then you look at, like I said, you start looking at Indiana and you're like, Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, Indiana State, Illinois. Those are their first 4 games. All of them are at home. And then you go to Iowa, to Oregon, which I think is your first real road test. Going to your first test of the season is early October at Autzen. Michigan State, you come back home for Michigan State, UCLA at Maryland, then it's Penn State, Wisconsin at Purdue. You've got 2 games that are going to be difficult if you are Indiana. And because you're the best team in the conference, according to Kurt Signetti. Just Google him. He wins every game he plays. At Oregon and at Penn State. Those are your 2 difficult games. And you want to sit here and tell me that the Big Ten is deep and
I win. Google me.
It's better than the SEC. And
Come on, bro.
You're out of your mind. Never mind that when you look at the top of the stack and you start looking at the 2025 strength of schedule, and you look at the rankings and you say, okay, Wisconsin has, I think, one of the most difficult schedules on paper. But then South Carolina, Arkansas, Florida, Mississippi, Kentucky, Oklahoma, and LSU. That's 3 through 9. Then Syracuse, TCU, then Alabama, Georgia, Vanderbilt, then UCLA, Purdue, Michigan State, Iowa, then Auburn, Texas, and Ole Miss. Texas A&M is 23rd, sandwiched in between West Virginia. So How are you making an argument that you should have an expanded playoff, Rhett, based on strength of schedule? And Kirk Cignetti, how are you making an argument you should not have an expanded college football playoff based on strength of schedule? Because somebody needs to explain it to me. Because I'm a Notre Dame fan. We're getting in whether you want us there or not. But I have the joy and the great latitude of not being a fan of either conference. And I'm sitting here telling you, without a doubt, the ACC is the worst college football conference of the Power Four.
Well, that's the issue, isn't it?
And I don't even think it's questionable that the Big Ten is not better than the SEC. The SEC is the best conference in college football.
And here's the problem with the ACC part of it is that the ACC has national championships in recent memory.
Well, because but Kirk Cignetti and Rhett Lashley are saying that the SEC is top heavy. Then what on earth is the Big Ten and the ACC?
Let me expand on that. What is college football then? Like, the whole sport is top heavy.
Right.
Like, each conference is what? 2 teams, 3 teams?
I think who has a legitimate chance in the Big Ten? I think it's Ohio State and Penn State. That's it. And I'm not even that certain with Drew Aller at quarterback. Stranger things have happened. But with Drew Aller at quarterback, I'm not even certain that Penn State can do that. And obviously, we're starting a youngster at quarterback for Ohio State. Ohio State. We're starting a youngster at quarterback at Ohio State.
Unbelievers.
Right? So, but if I go to the SEC and I say, okay, that conference, they don't play anybody. It's not like they play 9 P4 teams. And I look at the SEC, I say to myself, okay, there's no question that Alabama's going to contend for this league. What's the biggest hurdle in the way of Alabama winning the SEC? Well, it might be Florida State, Wisconsin, Georgia, Vanderbilt, Missouri, Tennessee, South Carolina, LSU, and Oklahoma. As well as Auburn in the Iron Bowl to end their season.
Yeah, that schedule sucks, dude. That's got nothing on the Big Ten, obviously.
Okay, well, then you got to look at Georgia. What's the biggest hurdle for Georgia? Well, it's not Marshall or Austin Peay, but it certainly is at Tennessee. Here's how Georgia opens up. That team that doesn't play anybody because the SEC is top heavy. At Tennessee, Alabama, Kentucky, at Auburn, Ole Miss, Florida, at Mississippi State, which they then bookend with Texas, Charlotte, and Georgia Tech. Would you rather have that schedule or Indiana's schedule? Would you rather have that schedule or Michigan's schedule? Would you rather have that schedule or just about any other schedule in the Big Ten outside of Wisco? And I think I might make the argument that I'd rather have Wisconsin's schedule because I don't want Georgia's schedule. But it's what it is, man. I'm here for it. In point blank, now I feel like I haven't even exercised all the demons, but I want to hear from you guys on this today. I want your voice to be heard. Do you believe this idea that the Big Ten is a deeper conference and a better conference, and that they should get 4 automatic bids to the college football playoff?
Do you believe?
Because I don't believe that in any way, shape, or form. Now, if I'm Tony Patiti, I 100% understand why he is arguing for the 12-game or 12-team playoff. Because if you give the SEC a 5-11 format, they're going to dominate it. They're going to dominate it.
Right.
And I think Tony Patiti is well aware that he's got a 2-team league. And until Oregon shows us what they are or what they're not, he's got a 2-team league. Because that performance, and it's the exact same thing I say about Indiana. You were a fraud. Oregon was a fraud last year. Indiana was a fraud last year. Penn State was a fraud last year. Michigan, well, you're a bunch of cheating scumbags. Never mind.
The only thing I would say, I don't disagree that to go 13-0 and then get bounced like that was embarrassing.
Horrendous.
I think that, part of what I would like to see change in the CFP is the scheduling. Like we can't have, 2 and 3 weeks off, for college kids and think that we're going to get the best possible games, and these teams are going to have a fair shake. And again, it's no excuses for Oregon. It's inexcusable the way you showed up to play Ohio State. But
I'm sorry. To play.
It's inexcusable the way you showed up to play Ohio State.
You need to get that drop. You need to, and I think we need. Here's Kirk Cignetti mispronouncing Ohio State.
Here's the bottom line. Okay, we picked up an extra home game, and we play 9 conference games. The 2 best conferences in college football, any football guy that's objective will tell you, is the Big Ten and the SEC. All right, 12 of the 16 SEC teams play 3 G5 or an FCS game. 12 of those teams play 36 games, 29 G5 games, and 7 FCS games, and 1 less conference game. All right? So we figured we'd just adopt SEC scheduling philosophy. Some people don't like it. I'm more focused in on those 9 conference games. Not only do we want to play 9 conference games, okay, and have the 4-4 championship, the playoff format, okay, we want to have play-in games to decide who plays in those playoffs. Championship weekend, let's play 3 versus 6 and 4 versus 5. You want to decide that on the field, make sure everybody's strength of schedule is what it needs to be? Let's make everybody play 9 conference games, and on championship weekend, 3 will play 6, 4 will play 5. And there's still room for another at-large in that format. And why shouldn't the Big Ten have 4 AQs? Because Ohio State actually finished 4th in the conference at the end of the season.
Ohio State.
Ohio State.
My guy. Ohio State finished 4th in the conference.
Ohio State.
It's remarkable to me. The SEC, you guys understand the SEC has a mandate of 9 P4 teams. So are you really playing a weaker schedule because you're not playing 9 conference games? Oh, that's right. You play 9 P4s. You play 9 P4s. Yeah. Kirk Cignetti and
Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Ohio State. Shut up. It's fine. I am fired up over it today. I truly am. Wow, look at that. But Monty upgraded to the members only content.
Yeah.
Make sure you send Jakey Two Shakes a DM on Insta Snapface Instagram.
You have a deal.
SLC Jake, he'll get you into the group. But Monty also gifted 5.
Nice.
Thank you, But Monty. Chewy Gonzalez for $2. Can you guys just beat the one game? Chewy, I'm not asking for too much. Thanks for getting swept by the Brewers. Now the Cubs and the Brewers, they're tied for first. You guys couldn't even just one game? Just a single game. Maybe a single inning.
No,
I guess not. Thanks, Dodgers. Yeah, you still suck.
No.
$2. Red Ass Tuesday, sponsored by Ohio State Boop Guys.
Ohio State.
The Ohio State Boot Guys.
Ohio State.
Chewy for 5 more. Monte, don't forget, Michigan plays the University of Feds in court. Yes, they do.
The University of Feds.
Speaking of which, Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petty deflects when he was asked about Michigan and their cheating scandal to open Big Ten Media Days. You would expect nothing but a big deflection, though, and then ripping the NCAA.
Well, the first part, I'm going to confirm that we did submit a letter. It's not uncommon in proceedings for a conference office to weigh in on. So I'm not going to address what the contents of the letter we sent are. And because it's an ongoing process, I don't think it's appropriate for me to comment about whether it's enough or not while there are individuals deliberating. I don't think that's the right thing to do in the process. Look, I will say, having gone through this, one thing thing to point out is I think when you think about the CSC and the discipline and what we're trying to build with the new entity, having an enforcement mechanism that just is faster is a priority, one that reacts more quickly. This is a system we have now. It's been in place for a long time. It functions the way it was built. But I do think there's this consensus among our colleagues that whatever we're building for the enforcement piece that's going to live inside the CSC, that's got to be there. This is difficult to be still talking about this, we're almost on 2 seasons after.
Cry me a river, dude.
Wait. I'm sorry. So, Tony, do you believe that the punishment...
Tony?
Tone. And I love all the Michigan fans. He's defending Michigan. No, he's not. No, he's defending the Big Ten. And there's no way to get around that. I don't know what he just said, but he said it takes too long for them to drop the hammer on Michigan. I'm still waiting for that hammer to drop there, Marty.
I just try to stand strong.
No further punishment coming. Cheeseburgers for kids saved
He
us.
was a lone wolf, Monty.
Lone Wolf. ConnorStallionsLLC.com. Okay. The Natural. Signetti definitely looks like he has some serious issues. He looks like a guy who fell and hit his head, and now he can't say, oh.
Ohio State.
Ohio State?
Ohio State.
Like he just can't say, oh. Oh. Too much. Probably too much. We sent a letter. That always sounds so weak. Yeah, we sent a letter to Ohio State.
Ohio State.
That's never going to get old. That is never going to get old. John Blackwelder, how are you, my guy? I would think that Tony Petitti makes enough money not to have to get his hair cut at Supercuts. Wow. Wow. So it is going to be that kind of show. We just had a Tony Petitti.
Bro.
But,
Dude. Bro went to Supercuts to get a number 2 done.
I mean, Toot Pants says the Ohio State.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Ohio State.
If Tony Petitti's haircut sucks, what about Kirk Signetti?
Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Dude.
Jesse Crum, incoming Feinbaum rant against Tony Petitti
the
way.
Seriously.
Jesse, it is on the way. The Natural says Oregon had no answer for Optimus Prime number 4. Well, there you go. Patrick Roybal. Hello, Patrick. But Monty, you're supposed to be a Gloria Navarez simp. Oh, Gloria. Yeah, don't forget she pays us. What's with all this other conference talk? Mountain West today, tomorrow, and the rest of the month. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. Chris George. Hello, Chris. Do you want to know why the SEC isn't demanding 4 auto bids? Because they know that 99% of the time they'll earn that every year. I agree. $100 P. Every year they will earn it. Big Lubbock. Pew, pew. How hot is that seat? Do you want to be Joey McGuire? Yes. Do you want to be Joey McGuire's pants pocket with how hot that seat is? How many games does Joey McGuire have to win to be like, yeah, this was a good season?
Well, let's use the Big Ten, scheduling strategy.
Oh, so he's got to win 4 games.
I'm
being a jerk. If you're
over
Texas Tech,
10, dude.
If you're Texas Tech with the money they spent, it just on the softball pitcher alone, can she be the water boy? Like, does the $1 million softball pitcher have the ability to can we do unsportsmanlike or unnecessary roughness, the movie where Kathy Ireland was kicking field goals? Can she come in and just throw me like a drop ball for a field goal? I mean, that's a softball term, a drop. Anyway.
Right, drop ball.
Right. Here's Joey's schedule.
Joey.
We start throwing tortillas August 30th against Arkansas Pine Bluff. Kent State, the Oregon State.
I thought we were going a different direction there.
And then we go week 4 at Jita on September 20th, which is probably going to be the game of the week and a national TV game. If Joey loses that game, does the downward spiral in Lubbock begin?
Fuck you. Fuck you. You suck.
Does Joey gets off the plane in Lubbock that night after a demoralizing 0 blitz at the end of the game that cost him a 99-yard touchdown catch. Joey zero blitzes Utah, and Dampier throws it up for 99 yards and a score to beat Texas Tech. Big Lubbock will be at the airport.
Fuck you. Fuck you. You suck.
Because he goes from Utah to Houston. Houston. Kansas, at Arizona State, Oklahoma State, at K-State, BYU, UCF, at West Virginia. He does not have a difficult schedule. Can he lose more than the Utah game and have his season?
That middle stretch is not easy.
Which Kansas, Arizona State?
From the Utah game.
Okay, from Utah listen, if you're Joey and the Raiders, can you lose at Houston?
No.
Willie Fritz is like 700 years old.
But that's not going to be a competitive game.
They'll bury them.
Yeah.
At Houston, home for Kansas.
That's a competitive game in my opinion. I don't think that's Kansas loves to play a team that's supposed to be way better than that.
Who are you, Abilene?
Yeah.
At Arizona State, tough game.
That's a tough game.
Second only to Utah.
See, now
schedule.
I agree with you. They've spent the money. They have the talent that they could walk through that schedule. But again, if you take the money out of it, and you're like, hey, it's Joey, I'm not putting it past him. Dude.
I think he has to probably win 9 games. To call it a successful season, 3 losses on that schedule would be... What are the possible losses? At Utah, Kansas, but that's in Lubbock. That's at Jones.
Yeah,
You're not losing to Kansas. At Utah, at Arizona State, you would not, depending on how the game goes.
Yeah.
And then at K-State, certainly.
That's certainly a losable
Certainly.
game.
That is November 1st. It's going to be chilly. That's Manhattan, Kansas. That is those 3 games, I think,
BYU.
are acceptable losses. No, you cannot lose to BYU in Lubbock.
Oh, now the label's acceptable losses.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Oh, I thought we said possible losses.
You can't. Oh, okay. Well, possible. BYU, you don't have a quarterback, but
when I look at these schedules, when we get to that time of year, you can't just look at it at face value. Do they have injuries?
Yeah.
I mean, you're later in the year, you're probably going to have some injuries. So
yeah.
That's a home game for them against BYU,
Yes.
right? If I remember. So,
Yes.
I mean, you should win that game, but who the hell knows?
Yeah.
So my point is that what we really should be asking is how long until you lose your first game? It's probably the Utah game. Like, honestly, because the Utah game really should come down to only a couple of plays. Like, honestly.
Yeah. Abilene, boy. Ohio State. Chewy, Utah has a tough schedule this season at West Virginia, at BYU, at KU, at UCLA, at Wyoming. Could be tricky up there in Laramie.
If you don't zero blitz on the goal line, you'll be all right.
You guys, again, and I'm happy to mix in Big 12 talk. I'm telling you, the line play at Utah this year, I think, could be the best combination offensive, defensive line in the country.
Yeah.
I think it is going to be, it's all going to be how effective can Devin Dampier be in the pocket? Behind the line of scrimmage.
And how much does he do a good job finding the balance between running and throwing? Because if he can find a way to be a threat on the ground and then use that to his advantage through the air, they're going to be a problem.
Yeah. Big Lubbock says Joey Seek gets hot at 7-5 or worse. If you go 7-5,
listen,
man.
I think that maybe instead of looking, and I don't disagree with this, Big Lubbock. I totally agree. But I think the better way to look at it is, are you competitive or are you not? Because we don't know what this league's going to be this year. I mean, this league damn well could be a 9-10 win, 9 wins.
But you don't spend that kind of bread, Jim,
right,
to be competitive.
But think about this too. When they paid the softball pitcher, right, Najee Kennedy,
$1 million.
$1 million. They went out and won a national championship, and they beat some of the best teams in the country to do it. I might add. Yeah, she did, really. She
got hit a little bit, but she definitely carried that ball club.
Yeah. So my point is, you spent that money, you won a natty.
Yeah.
Expectation is the same in football. Don't get that twisted.
Expectations have to change. They have to go up. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
And that's my point. So when we talk about, like, when does the seat get warm? His seat gets warm if they don't make the CFP. 7 wins is not good enough.
7 wins would be a tragedy.
Yeah,
and I don't disagree with Zona Tucson, because I mean Zona Tucson knows about losers, because they're going to lose every game for the next 7 years
and all your money, but it's the same thing.
And the only thing that's going to offset all the football losses is the fact you're saving so much money on Sean Miller's former dry cleaning bill. I mean,
what's Book Richardson doing these days?
The dry, because he's sweaty Sean through the shirt. You dry clean. Okay. Whoa, what now? Because they are locked into their advertising. Blue Hawks too. What are we talking about advertising? For? Oh God, is somebody complaining about ads, bro?
Okay, you got just scroll up real quick. I just want to see what you said. We get this sometimes. It's just humor me.
TJ Beck, but Monty, so you're saying Kurt Signetti can't back it up into his garage. Ohio State? No, he can't, but I can. Right here, Nacho Libre. Why is it the Monty Show is the only YouTube show that locks up when an ad comes on? What do you mean
locks up? What does that mean?
Everybody has ads on their channel, man. That's the whole point of being
what do you mean it locks up?
Yeah. What's sad is K-State is a tough matchup only in the Big 12. Put K-State in the SEC and instantly at the bottom. If Tech loses at K-State, that's embarrassing for Tech.
I don't know that K-State's at the bottom of the
I
SEC,
wouldn't say that.
dude. I do think that they would be. They're definitely a second cut team in the SEC without a doubt. I think you're probably below Ole Miss ranking wise. Like I have Texas, Bama, Georgia as the 3 dogs, and then you've got like Ole Miss, LSU, Auburn some years, and then I would have K-State below that group.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting. My buddy Clint is texting me and saying, "Why so hard on Zona, man? What'd they ever do to you?"
Oh, I know. They just shipped Jet Fish's ass out to Washington and lost all their operating money, bro. Like, it's sad.
It is, and
they should be better.
You had an accounting snafu.
It's terrible.
Yeah. Oh, Zona. Comment. Good Lord. I think Zona said, "Damn, Monty. Damn, Monty."
Yeah.
It's all. I hate Sean Miller. Like, I think you guys are better off for it. Chad Perling, Texas Tech won the national championship. Don't tell the Longhorns. Well, you don't even exist in Austin. Texas Tech versus Utah will be a night game, and yes, it will be deafening loud. It is one of the games of the year. It is, I think, in college football, Texas Tech, Utah for the Big 12. Whoever comes out of that game has to really go on and run the deck. Whoever comes out of that game, because I think those are 2 of the favorites to win the conference, Utah and Texas Tech. It's in late September, isn't it? Early October, and you got to have it. There's nothing to talk about.
And I maybe I'm weird. I literally start salivating at the idea of cool weather and football on TV.
Dude,
there is literally nothing like it.
It's remarkable. Eric Wasikowski, when Indiana gets in again, what will Monty say? They don't deserve to get in.
Yeah, that's what we'll say.
I have no problem. Indiana, I think I said this all season last year.
You did.
Indiana was not the team that everybody was bloviating them up to be. And we saw that the minute they got off the bus in South Bend. We absolutely dominated them last year. Dominated them. It wasn't even a game.
Notre Dame, our mother.
Right? And now you have a quarterback. What's going to be the excuse when you don't go 11-1? What's going to be the excuse?
And by the way, why do you care? You're not an Indiana fan.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
It is what it is. The eye patch. Texas Tech couldn't win squat when they had Patty Mahomes. Now they're world beaters. Bro, do you ever give credit to anybody? It is crazy to me. I read one comment of yours, and it's one of the shallowest, most short-sighted comments of the day already.
Let's keep moving.
The whole point is Texas Tech bought a roster full of dudes that can play. What does Patrick Mahomes and the team he was on have to do with anything? Like, ACC West Coast Commissioner Gumby. Sup, bro? Wouldn't it be a shame if YouTube ads fell into a pie hole? Ads that's the way of the world these days. YouTube Premium, and I think Mike Smith said that, YouTube Premium knocks that out. Get YouTube Premium. You'll never see another ad.
How many of you guys of the people who don't have premium and do see the ads, are you guys seeing the 2-box presentation yet? Or
Well,
is it
there is
still,
that. There is
or
that.
is it,
Yeah.
is it still just doing the full screen? Because you're supposed to be allegedly, and we don't get to see it obviously, but allegedly you're supposed to be getting a 2-box ad style format now, where you still see us talking, but you see the ad in another box and the audio of the ad.
Yeah, exactly right. Johnny Gonzalez, good afternoon, bud. K-State has had the better of OU the last couple of meetings. You know, they have.
Yeah.
Correct. But so is your mom. OU hasn't exactly been difficult. Kennedy is getting paid, the pitcher at Texas Tech, is getting paid $1.25 million for this coming year. Texas Tech is ranked preseason #1 in softball.
Yep.
She lived up to it.
And they added a bunch of talent too.
She lived up to it. I've had the premium lockup, the Showgram lockup, i.e. the ad is supposed to start, but it is a black screen that never updates on my iPhone YouTube app. Really?
That's not us, dude. That's
not us. Arizona misplaced that decimal point. Well, let me move this one.
Well, look
over
here,
on the
Monty.
abacus. Do you guys remember it's a $240 million mistake in Tucson? Because during COVID, they were using their daily funds, like
The coronavirus.
the entire university checking account was going to pay for athletics, and they made an accounting mistake to the tune of $240 million
Cashless.
and people paid with their careers. Man.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it is.
It's brutal.
The eye patch. Big Lubbock says, "Hey, eye patch. Texas Tech didn't have a $35 million roster room. Mahomes was at Texas Tech. It don't feed the animals. It's one of the stupidest comments so far that we've seen recently. The King of Thailand, Nebraska only has women's volleyball to look forward to this year, and how?
Well, they have Patrick Mahomes. I mean,
no, you don't understand. You don't understand.
Stay hard.
The uniforms at Nebraska volleyball. Have you seen the TikToks on ace? But Monty, who's your daddy? Kirk Signetti is, Ohio State.
dude,
Bro.
Ohio State.
Come on. What are you doing over there? Sucking a ding dong?
yeah, dude.
I never sucked any ding dongs.
But you got that one in your fingertips.
I mean,
Oh my God. That's amazing. Randomness. Texas Tech is inevitable to go 8-4.
Agreed. Yeah.
Time for Joey to go back and teach social studies during the daylight.
Sucking a ding dong.
Okay. That's what 8-4 would amount to.
It would.
Chewy says, hoping the real Oregon State beats Texas Tech. I want nothing but every win for Texas Tech or for Oregon State, unless they play Notre Dame. Screw them. But what's gone on in Corvallis now, the last probably year has been their own making. But the way that Oregon State got handled during the meltdown of the Pac-12 was no fault of an Oregon State fan. Like that was brutal. Absolutely brutal. Texas Tech is going to be really good in 25. Well, Oak State James is here, everybody. Now, do you want to delete that comment? Because every time you say somebody's going to be really good, the cops show up with a subpoena for their cell phones. And
Hi, this is James. Welcome back.
Ollie Gordon.
Bo Nix is playing well.
Ollie Gordon. What happened to Bo Nix that year?
Yeah, I'm not talking about that.
Didn't go all the way, did he? How did Oregon do that? No, not good. Jake Retzloff. Instagram date gone wrong thanks to James. Do you want to? I'll give you a minute if you want to delete that comment. 3, 2, 1, you're done. Texas Tech is going to be really good in 2025. The curse of James. But it would not surprise me if Farmageddon had a rematch in the Big 12 title game.
Bro.
K-State versus Iowa State.
Bro.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
I mean, how hard do you have to work in Farmageddon? I mean, honestly, dude. Like,
Big Lubbock, I love the jealousy towards Texas Tech. Bring on the hate. I agree with you, Big Lubbock. I love that people are like, oh, you bought your team. Yeah. And you wish, and you wish you had bought yours, but you didn't because you're a bunch of cheapskates. You're a bunch of cheapskates. How does Notre Dame not have a quarterback? Oh, that's right. We're rebuilding the rectory. Our funds are elsewhere. Oh. Who are you? No.
Program.
Who are you, Jerome Powell, with all that marble? Okay, my bad. My bad.
Fuck you. Fuck you. You suck.
Had to. San Diego State Glenn, the point is the ads come on and the whole show freezes up. Does it really?
Yeah, dude, I apologize. I don't know if that's like a YouTube
I've never seen
thing
that.
or...
But Monty says, I've never seen the 2-box presentation. It's going to eventually happen.
Yeah,
it's like when you're watching sports on TV and it's like, playthrough and you have the show on the left and the ad on the right. That's coming. I don't mind the ads, but the connected investor ad does crash the app browser. Really? Okay. Boyd Lake, ads completely replaced the video for me. YouTube Premium, boys. At Enriquez, Tech must split between Utah, Arizona State, K-State, and BYU. I think you've got to win. I think, I would agree. You've got to beat Utah and Arizona State. Because that's the hammer in the conference. And let's say you lose. I think you got to win 3 of the 4. You can't lose to BYU. They don't have a quarterback. You cannot lose if you are Joey and Tech. With the money that you've spent and the upgrade, they have a massive upgrade on defense. They are, and any Tech fan, please, back me up. The defense this year, I don't want to see zero blitz in Laramie again. I don't want to see Abilene again. This defense is really talented. If it does not perform, you have got to look at the coaching staff and make changes because you can't 7-5, like Big Lubbock said, would just be tragic.
It's really unfair.
I mean, it would be terrible. Gumby, that's a negative on the 2-box ads. Currently watching on Mac OS Safari. Okay, I like it.
Yeah, but see, are you crashing then during the ads?
So what do? Just refresh? That sucks. See, I had no doubt. I had no idea this was happening. So that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. By the way, if you're watching the show, please give us a thumbs up. Hit the like button on the Monty Show. We have over 3,000 people watching the show here on Tuesday afternoon. Appreciate you guys being here. As always, the Monty Show presented by our good friends at The Advocates, theadvocates.com. You guys, you get into an accident. It doesn't matter where you're watching the show. Get to theadvocates.com. The number of big rig accidents that we're seeing in this country right now is astronomical. And it is terrifying. We've had multiple of our listeners get into an accident with a big rig lately. And please be careful. If you're on the roadways, you guys, please be careful. But if the worst happens, be ready because the advocates, they're ready. They're ready to serve you. They're ready to help you. They're ready to fight for you. That's what they do. They fought insurance companies. They fought the trucking companies. They fought the insurance industry. They know how to handle your case. You get in an accident, call the advocates. They're ready to give you clear, risk-free advice. Do you need them on a phone call? Do you need to go see them in their office? Do you need them to come see you in your hospital room? They're ready, man. They are ready at theadvocates.com 24/7, 365. You can chat with an injury attorney live online, not a chat bot, not AI. A live attorney is ready to serve you 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. Eric Wasikowski, I can't even remember the last Big 12 championship. Dude, you got to go back to like Bob Stoops. You got to go back to the Big 12. And this is what we talk about all the time on this show. The Big 12 doesn't have a brand. What was Texas before they left the Big 12? Well, up until their last year in the league, what were they? Texas is back. No, they're not. They were a disappointment, right? You look at Lincoln's years. Lincoln doesn't have a championship. He doesn't have a BCS. He has Big 12 championships, but what are we measuring by? Conference championships now? It's not good enough, right? So you're exactly right. The Big 12's got to win a championship. I don't think they have a horse to win that race right now.
Agreed.
Because I don't see a team in this conference that contends with Alabama, Georgia, certainly not Texas. The size and the speed of that size, that's what's so impressive. And Pete Kwiatkowski and the rest of that defensive staff that train those guys and teach those guys to play with size, but that size is moving so fast. Now you look in the Big Ten, Ohio State has the horses, right? Ohio State. We saw that. Oregon's got the horses. USC allegedly has the horses, but I don't believe it till I see it, right? I mean, Lincoln's got to find a defense, and they were much better defensively last year, but, is what it is. Oak State James just cursed Texas Tech with his comment. Yes, he did.
He did.
And I want to say it out loud. Nacho Libre, James, don't you curse K-State. Gumby says, yay. But Monty, at least players didn't have to take a pay cut to play at Texas Tech.
Yay.
Wow. Wow.
Wow. Iowa State, but they'll do.
Jakey 2 boxes.
Yeah.
There you go.
2 boxes.
There you go. Shout a. Hey, y'all. I see it 2 box, though.
See?
Okay.
See?
Okay, I like it.
Yeah, 2 box.
John Blackwelder, never seen the 2 box, but I have really enjoyed Lemu, Emu, and Doug Plays Golf.
Well,
yeah, if you could get your bird to stop digging holes in the green, that'd be great. Jimmy Otson, I would say that I haven't got a commercial in nearly an hour, but I don't want to jinx it. Exactly right. Sad face. Sports Illustrated ranked Utah as the most valuable program in the Big 12. Did they really? Wait. Don't we have a graphic on that, Jakey Two Shakes?
I believe we do, yeah.
Here are the most valuable college football franchises. And you guys tell me, does any of this resonate with you? Do you care who's the most valuable? Because I don't buy that Michigan, Notre Dame, are they more valuable than Alabama? Well, now that Nick Saban's gone. Are you telling me Oklahoma's more valuable than USC? Get the fuck out of here. LSU's less valuable than Tennessee? Like, listen, I understand if somebody wanted to come in today and buy one of these brands, that's what it would cost. But I also look at this one right here. This chart's probably more important. Who's spending more money? Who's got the budget?
I think the SEC spends money.
That looks about right to me. Ohio State, third. They've got bread.
Ohio State.
Texas Tech, Oregon, A&M. Miami spends lavishly. SC, Michigan, well, all their money spent on lawyers and judges. Tennessee and Auburn, right? That's probably what matters more, right? I mean, I don't know. I just look at this and I look at schedules and I say to myself, schedule difficulty. I mean, again, I'm just going to go and say, okay, well, let me go through the top 5. No Big 12. Let me go 6 through 10. Nope, don't see him there. Maybe I got to get my vision checked. 11 through 15. I see Purdue. Syracuse. Oh, no, they're not in the Big 12 either. Old Miss. Missouri's in the Big 12. Oh, not anymore. Iowa. No, not there. Ohio. No. Ohio State.
Ohio State.
No. Oh, Miami. Nope, they're not there either. Boy, that's tough. Let me get to 38th. You're saying that you don't like scheduling up. 38th.
Because it's garbage.
38th. And I'm not even, but look at my boys at 43.
But listen, Gundy wants to play OU. So, I mean,
because he needs
help
OU.
with the schedule.
Look
right?
at Texas Tech at 63rd.
Come
you got money doesn't equate to quality. And that's why I said you got the 63rd toughest schedule in the country, Joey. 10 wins. Yeah, you better. Right? You start looking at, start looking at some of the other Utah at 54. Yeah, you better. You better have a good year, Devin Dampier. Iowa State at 53rd. Yeah. You might, Matt. Hey, Matt, you might want to bounce back. Just saying. Right? You look at Cincinnati. Look at 51, 52, 53, and 54, and 56, and 57, and 58, and 60th, and 61 and 62 and 63. What do they all have in common? And you're telling me you're getting you're a one bid league. You got to figure it out. You're not playing anybody. It's not like you're scheduling up.
Yeah.
Right? Texas Big 12 Conference. And I just go back to what we talked about yesterday with that fraud Mike Gundy. Hold the door for Texas and Oklahoma? I don't think so. Bar the door. Keep them in the league. Do what's got to be done. Let them set the bar. Oklahoma's, leaving because Oak State didn't want to have to set the bar higher to get to Oklahoma. And we're not even talking about Texas, who's in another stratosphere today. Right? But, the king of Thailand, Pitt is lit this year. They stay healthy. That's a tough out. Yes, it is. I think the ACC is going to be interesting. Joey B, oh boy. If Monty switched to Mercedes from BMW, ain't never going to happen. Never. I'm calling the advocates. Would be criminal of Monty with no garage rant tweets. Well, Timothy. I'm a Beamer guy, dude. I am a Beamer guy. You can take your AMG. I'll take my M. Love it. Absolutely love it. Mrs. Monty and I took the new Beam to the car wash last night. Started raining. Is what it is.
The biggest load that we've seen.
Real quick, speaking of huge loads, did you guys see that camper in Idaho?
Bro.
We've had some really... I know climate change isn't real and scientists are stupid because science isn't real and winds aren't really winds and stuff. Did you guys see the wind that ran through the Northern Rockies yesterday? From Colorado to Idaho. It's blowing over like a trailer, like an RV trailer, like a camper trailer. Huge, blew it over. And it's barrel rolling through one of the fields. What looked like a grass field.
Not fucking real.
Well,
right?
No, because climate change isn't real.
Right.
Like that wasn't actually windy. It just lost its balance a little bit.
Listen, we're in a strange time.
Yeah, it rains every day here, right? That's why.
Right.
That's how come nothing's burning. Oh wait, everything's burning. Nah, Monty, you're so goddamn woke. Yeah, maybe. I don't want to
Big
catch
woke
on
guy,
fire. And Donuts, a member for 25 months.
Nice.
Week 0, August 22nd. Countdown begins.
Let's go.
NFL training camps are open.
Let's go.
I am ready. Most college football teams will be in camp next week. I'm ready. I am absolutely ready. Chinook wins. Dude, it's been brutal. It has been absolutely brutal. King of Thailand, baseball-sized hail, that's normal too. Yeah.
Right.
Totally normal. I'm charting my work.
Okay.
Did you say you're sharding on your work? I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, why are we talking about taking a dump on your desk? Like,
I don't. All right. I want to get back to real quick this Michigan thing. You guys are focused on the wrong thing with Tony Petitti. Tony Petitti should have sent a letter. I don't know why Ohio State fans got so enamored with this thing that, oh, he sent a letter. The guy was having hemorrhoid surgery or something? That's why he couldn't go to the meeting. It's not unusual to send a letter at all. But the thing that Michigan fans got bent on, and it was funny talking to people today on text, they were like, oh, well, Tony's defending Michigan. He understands how valuable the brand is. Would it be better for the rest of the Big Ten if Michigan got no penalty at all? Well, yeah, of course it would. Would help them financially. Is that what the rest of the Big Ten wants? No. I don't think there's any question that everybody in the Big Ten would like to see the Michigan Wolverines absolutely get their balls slapped through a slotted chair while duct taped to the arms. I think that's a James Bond reference. Anyway, the point is, I don't think anybody's defending Michigan. When did Tony Petitti say Michigan's done everything they were supposed to do? And he never said that, right? What Tony Petitti said was the punishment we doled out was good enough. The punishment fit the crime, in our opinion. No further punishment should be levied.
Right.
So on what planet are we trying to make the argument that somehow Tony Petitti is vindicating Michigan, which I saw in our YouTube comments? He's not vindicating Michigan in any way, shape, or form. When has he said that Matt Weiss was innocent, or at what point did he say there were good people on both sides? Nobody says stupid shit like that when multiple felonies are being committed. What? Did I go too far?
No, you didn't go too far. I just disagree. If you're gonna send a letter and you're gonna ask or make the statement that, basically you're saying, hey, like his main point in the clip is we've been talking about it for 2 seasons now. Like the punishment was fit. Like it's time to move on. I don't think most people agree with that. I don't think most people agree the punishment was fit. And I think that the problem is we're still talking about it because it's still relevant. Right? Like that's the issue.
But here's my question. And maybe as all the Michigan fans said, stop talking about the Monty Show. They're a bunch of hacks. They're biased to Ohio State. Okay. I'm biased. Well, what the hell is this? What is this? Tony Petitti backs Michigan in its NCAA fight. When did he do that? Tony Petitti didn't back Michigan. Tony Petitti simply said, we punished them already. Mind your own business. That's what Tony Petitti said. Under no circumstance did Tony Petitti vindicate Michigan, defend Michigan, back Michigan. Tony Petitti essentially said, I'm the boss in this league. I set down the punishment. It's over. You've taken too long, butt out. That's what he said, right? Under no circumstance did Anthony ever say, oh yeah, well, they're just victims here. He absolutely positively never said
Well,
that.
the first part, I'm going to confirm that we did submit a letter. It's not uncommon in proceedings for a conference office to weigh in on. So I'm not going to address what the contents of the letter we sent are. And because it's an ongoing process, I don't think it's appropriate for me to comment about whether it's enough or not while there are individuals deliberating. I don't think that's the right thing to do in the process. Look, I will say, having gone through this, one thing to point out is I think when you think about the CSC and the discipline and what we're trying to build with the new entity, having an enforcement mechanism that just is faster is a priority, one that reacts more quickly. This is a system we have now. It's been in place for a long time. It functions the way it was built. But I do think there's this consensus among our colleagues that whatever we're building for the enforcement piece that's going to live inside the CSC, that's got to be there. It's just difficult to be still talking about this, almost on 2 seasons after.
I agree with all of that. It takes too long. That's why the NCAA discipline apparatus is changing.
But here's the thing. I think that I guess I'm playing both sides of the fence. I agree with you that he's not backing Michigan per se. He's not saying Michigan's innocent or what they did is not a big deal. Like he's not doing that. But I do think that you can't have it both ways in the sense that you can't be the Big Ten commissioner and say that this has taken too long and we're tired of talking about it and the punishment was just when you didn't really punish them at all. And it's only taken this long because of the process that's been playing out, right? Like that's the issue. So yes, I agree that we need to speed up the discipline process. I think everybody agrees with that. That's not rocket science or even a hot take, but I think that part of Tony Petitti's job, unfortunately, is to cover up for all the jackasses in the Big Ten who consistently do terrible things to hurt the conference. Michigan, Penn State, Northwestern, like all these different issues that have come up. Like it's his job to help put out the fires. And I think that's what he's doing. And I think he was smart not to comment on the contents of the letter. That's definitely savvy, being a savvy commissioner. But I don't think we can say that unequivocally, he's not trying to, put this away, like put it to bed, be done with it, move on. And I understand that. I'm not saying that makes it
But it has
devious.
been years. And I agree with him. And I think the problem here is you're making two different arguments. Was Tony Petitti's discipline of Michigan enough? Did Anthony drop the ball there? Yes, he did. Should Jim Harbaugh have been suspended for the rest of the season? Like excommunicated from the program? Yes.
But the thing is, at that time, if you go back at that time when he was making that decision, what choice did he really have? You were never going to suspend him the whole year. Like that doesn't help the conference. That doesn't help Michigan.
I agree with that. Again, Tony Petitti's job is not to look out for Michigan. You need to grasp this concept. Tony Petitti's not the commissioner of Michigan football. He's the commissioner of the Big Ten.
Right.
Tony Petitti, I think, again, we can argue, was his penalty justice or was it way, way, way too light? Well, I think we all agree it was way too light, which is why the Committee on Infractions is going to step in here.
I guess it's just hard for me to, I get what you're saying, but it's just really hard for me to listen to him say those things and for me to, somehow feel sorry for the Big Ten or for Michigan or any of it.
But who's asking you to feel sorry for him?
Nobody, but what he's saying is half of his argument is, hey, this is taking too long and we need to move on from it. Well, okay, that might be true, but maybe Michigan shouldn't have done what they did and we wouldn't be here.
Right.
That's part of it.
Dude, you're making two different arguments. I agree. I don't believe that Michigan, I think I would strip Michigan of its championship. I would cripple their ability to recruit off campus. I would put Sharon Moore on a 10-year show cause notice as a repeat offender. I would put Jim Harbaugh on the longest, most unending show cause notice ever given out. Decade. Okay, great. I agree. The penalty didn't fit the crime. Different conversation. Then, hey, the NCAA, your punishment apparatus sucks. We can all coalesce around that. We can all agree the NCAA takes way too long to dole out punishment. Who's arguing that?
But right. And,
all right.
My point is that where was this conversation about the NCAA is too slow before all of this stuff happened? Right.
We've always thought that.
But my point is,
when Jerry Sandusky and John Frank or James Franklin were going cock on thigh at Penn State, we all said it takes too long. It takes too long, and we reinstate this after ripping that. And USC, it takes too long. Bro, Jim Harbaugh has been the head coach at the scumbag San Diego, should be in San Diego or La Jolla, but they're in LA Chargers for over a year. He's been gone. And the punishment still has not been doled out.
Surely we're on the same page that as commissioner of the Big Ten, on some level, he is trying to defend a bit by saying, hey, it's taking too long and I feel like the punishment is just. He's trying to move on.
Because it's crippling his ability with one of his biggest brands to make money.
So that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's a hot take to say, yeah, Tony sent a letter, and part of his job as commissioner is to
send a letter to try and mitigate the punishment as much as he can. That's different than it takes too long. That's different than all of this.
And by the way, I thought he did a good job taking the opportunity to mention the quote unquote new entity that everyone keeps talking about.
I will just continue to tell you, Tony Petitti's doing his job representing his constituents in the Big Ten. He is not defending Michigan. He has never defended Michigan. He has emphatically done just the opposite and condemned their behavior. It's now time for the Big Ten to move on. They need Michigan to be punished so they can work through that punishment as soon as possible. And at this point, if you're Tony Petitti, how could you be hoping for anything other than time served? Because that's what's best for you. You're fighting the behemoth at the SEC, trying to get as many teams in. If Michigan is Michigan, they're going to be talented. They're not going to win big games because Michigan doesn't win big games, but they're gonna win enough games to be relevant. Yet you can't have them be stripped of scholarships and limited in recruiting and given massive show cause orders, because that's going to hurt them in recruiting and it's going to hurt their ability to win games.
Yeah.
That's bad for the Big Ten.
Yeah.
So the idea that Tony Petitti is rooting for or backing, or he's not. What he's rooting for is the Big Ten. What he's backing is the Big Ten. What he's backing is the true aggrieved party here, which is everybody but Michigan in the Big Ten.
Oh, that's true.
That's his job. His job is to write a letter. If he hadn't written a letter, he should be fired.
And I do wish that, I guess too, I wish we heard like from Tony more, just generally speaking. Like I feel like we hear from Brett Yormark. I feel like we hear from Greg Sankey all the time, but we don't really hear from Jim Phillips or Tony Petitti unless the sky's falling.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the brand of, I think that's part of the issue of the brand of Tony Petitti as the commissioner of the Big Ten, is that I only really hear from Tony Petitti when there's fires to put out, or when there's an obvious obligation as commissioner of the conference to speak to the media.
Because he's not dynamic. He's not a dynamic speaker. He's not a dynamic personality. The joke about Supercuts haircuts, like, he is a very vanilla, straightforward communicator.
Yeah.
Whereas Greg Sankey does not care. So he says what he wants to say. When Greg Sankey speaks, everybody listens and he sends messages.
Yep.
Plain and simple.
Yep.
Tony Petitti doesn't have that weight. Tony Petitti doesn't have that authority. Tony Petitti is a TV guy who doesn't understand yet how to navigate the politics of college football because he's still too new.
Which brings us back to the original question today of, which is the better conference? And I think on and off the field, the SEC is still the better conference, even with the TV contract in consideration.
Yeah, everybody throw up some prayers. Thoughts and prayers to Mike Smith. He just had a big plate of spaghetti. He's sleeping.
Oh, man. Wow, dude.
Biggest load that we've seen.
Pancreas is in overdrive. Fat Jesus. Monty doesn't hate any conferences. He has had to watch football to hate. He has to watch football to hate a conference. That's right. I don't watch football. You guys know I don't watch games. Ask Jazz fans.
Right.
Phil Benzer. Cubs need to do everything to get Paul Skeens, but then again, they're the Cubs. Thanks for that. Thanks for throwing that out there. James. Dude, maybe you should just open the door to the rectory and just get some sunlight. I have Oak State going 7-5 or 8-4.
Okay, dude. What do you mean you have them going? Dude.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
How does
and
this
you guys
math?
say I don't watch college football?
You guys say that my boy here is a homer, and this dude's out here saying that this squad's going 7-5.
I don't watch college football. Okay. Sure losses on your schedule: at Oregon, Baylor, at Texas Tech, at Kansas, K-State, and Iowa State. That's 6 losses right there.
Your ass is lucky you ain't got Utah on the schedule.
Your ass is lucky you get to play Scott Frost-led football teams. UCF. And I'm not even certain that in November you're going to be able to go to the bounce house and win. But UCF, Cincinnati, Houston, only because those games are at home, because you would get pile driven in Houston, in my opinion. Arizona, I think Arizona's got a chance to be the worst team in the conference. I think that's absolutely true. And I think you still have a chance to lose all of those games I just mentioned. I think your 2 only surefire wins are UT Martin and Tulsa.
Man.
Those are your only 2. And Tulsa, that's bedlam now. I don't know if you know this, James. Tulsa's in Oklahoma.
What?
There might be a Buc-ee's there. I could be wrong.
What?
I'm kidding. Tulsa and UT Martin are the 2 that you can win.
Yeah.
And if you lose any of your home games, you guys will be a 4-win team. It's absolutely ridiculous that you have them going 8-4. I'd love to know the 8 wins. Because you would, Johnny Gonzalez, Big 12 has too much parity. Having winning records gets you into the championship game. It's a mediocre league at best. But Monty, who's winning the Moet Chandon Belgian Grand Prix this weekend?
Big Daddy Magic.
I think he might win. He might win. Big Daddy Magic. Could be. I don't know, Lando. Damian Fowler. Guys. James is a homer. You can say that again. Honest to goodness, I think 8 wins would be.
You're a homer is the first part.
I don't even know where you would get 8 wins on that schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, UT Martin, Tulsa, that's 2. You're not beating Oregon. Okay, Baylor, Arizona, Houston, Cincinnati. You're not beating Texas Tech, Kansas, K-State, or Iowa State. So top of the mountain is 7. And that's if you win every single game that you're supposed to win. Like everything goes perfectly. And you keep running this out here. What you clearly don't understand is they're far better than they were a year ago. And Jalen Daniels is not the reason they're going to lose games. They have backstopped that. Why do you think he came back for? Why do you think they brought him back for another year? They've backstopped it.
Yeah.
Like it just is what it is. It is what it is. All right, let's switch gears real quick and get to Prize Picks. Prize Picks, the official daily fantasy partner of the Marty program.
Hey, Morty.
I didn't want to say it yesterday. But I'll say it today. I will say it today. I am happy to say that your boy's on a Prize Picks heater.
But he gets paid a lot of money.
3 for 3 last night. Absolute pure domination. I'm not sure I've ever said what I'm about to say right now. Jake helped me win at Prize Picks last night.
Wait.
Erroneous!
Did I hear that right? Did you say that I was good at Prize Picks?
Don't fuck.
I never said that.
Oh, my bad.
I said for one night you helped me win. I told you Noah Campbell, the pitcher for the Kansas City Royals, would strike out more than 4. He struck out 7. I told you Shohei Me the Way would give you 2.5 hits, runs, or RBIs. He gave you 4. And then Eugenio Suarez gave you 3. Jake had him at more than 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs.
Boom.
Out of here.
Boom.
20 to win 130. Boom.
Suck it.
Done. No, I'm not in the mood for ding dong. Let's get back on the horse today, friends, because I got to tell you, the Cubs are desperate at this point. The Cubs are no longer in first place, and they're playing the crappy Royals.
Rolls.
Our best pitcher, Matthew Boyd.
Hey, Matthew Boyd.
Matthew. What a stud. Matthew Boyd, he of a 10-3, 2.34 is going against the Royals tonight. And I feel really good about it. He is a strikeout machine. In 3 starts in July, he struck out 20 batters against 2 walks.
I apologize. Who is this? Matthew Boyd.
Do you guys see what I deal with?
I'm over here getting another winning lineup ready.
I'm talking about the potential Cy Young winner.
No.
I get Eugenio Suarez over here.
Dude, come on.
Telling me.
Come on.
Shut the fuck up,
Donnie.
Donnie.
Man? Who are you talking about here? I'm talking about Mr. Cy Young himself, Matthew Boyd. And I'm telling you, you got to go more than 5 pitcher strikeouts because
come on, man. What is we talking about?
It's the Royals. So I think you got to go more than that. And then I think on the Chicago Cubs, we got to go hits, runs, and RBIs. You feeling anybody here, Jake? It's Rich Hill, the hanging curveball waiting to happen. I mean, you feeling me? What are we rolling with here, man?
I don't know.
Rich Hill 0-1 with a 4.91 ERA.
Yeah, can we get a more line on Rich Hill?
And you look at Richard Hill.
Hey, Richard.
Yeah, nice joint loser.
Yeah.
2/3 of an inning, a run. A hit, 2 runs, 2 earned. That'd be a bomb. Against the Mets, he went 1/3 of an inning, 2 walks. The guy just, I mean, he's a hanging breaking ball waiting to happen.
Yeah.
We tend to bang those dudes.
Yeah,
I heard that about you.
Oh.
Come on, you guys. All right, let's go hits, runs, and RBIs. Now, I would assume, and I haven't seen the lineup for the Chicago Cubs yet, but hopefully PCA's back in the lineup.
Oh, Pete Crow Armstrong guy.
I think I am going our guy, Seiya Sasuke. hits, runs, and RBIs today. Seiya's got a 4.5 demon. Hits, runs, and RBIs. I don't love that number.
Yeah.
I do not love that number. I do like half a run scored. We're going to go more. That Seiya Suzuki will score a run.
Okay.
Okay. And then, I mean, aren't the Yankees going to bounce back tonight? Aren't the Yankees going to bounce back? They got... I don't know how you explain the lethargy in their bats against Toronto, but Cam Schlitter and Max Scherzer tonight. Schlitz. Cam Schlitter, guy's a stud.
Yeah,
can't get anybody out. But Max Scherzer is rocking a 4.70 ERA, and against that club, that's going to get you in trouble. So, you going to give me a tip on the last one, Jake? I mean,
I'm not getting involved. I'm not getting involved in the Yankee game. I can tell you that right now.
Why?
Well,
it's that, or you go back to the Dodgers.
No, I think the Philly game is the one. Oh. Philly, Boston. I've got JT Real Muto, more than 5.5 hitter fantasy score.
When's the last time JT Real Muto gave you anything? If you're going Phillies, you're going with my goddamn left fielder.
Okay, well, that's you.
You really are. Oh, my God.
And then I've got Jacob Mizorowski for more than 6.5 Ks on a demon against Seattle. And then I've got Chase Burns for more than 7.5 Ks against Washington on a demon.
The Schwarbinator for hits, runs, and RBIs is 3.5 on a demon. He is, his demon number on RBIs is 1.5. Like, Kyle Schwarber is the guy tonight. Are you kidding me? He hits a home run. It's a demon for him to hit a home run. He's hit a home run in 2 straight. That's your guy. I don't disagree. But you might Bryce Harper as well. His hits, runs, and RBIs, they're not giving you a lot to play with here because they're red hot. It's half a hit, run, or RBI, or 3.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. And on Bryce, I just don't think he can do that. But if we're talking about runs, Bryce Harper's half a run. I think he scores a run. Do you not?
I mean, he probably does. Yeah, probably does. But he needs help to do that unless he hits a home run.
I'm going Matthew Boyd, more than 5 strikeouts. Seiya Sasuke, more than 1 run or half a run. So he'll score a run. And Bryce Harper, half a run. I'm going 20 to win 90 on Prize Picks.
I like it.
Pretty straightforward, you guys. Prize Picks, download the app, open a new Prize Picks account, use the promo code Monty. You deposit $5, they'll give you 50 more in place, man. You can play the entire rest of the baseball season on $50. With football coming, you guys, download Prize Picks today. Get ready for the football season. It is bedlam. Well, not anymore because they don't play Oklahoma, those cowards. But my point is...
But they want to.
Yeah, in the spring game where they'll split the gate.
They'll split the NIL.
And stuff. My point is download Prize Picks today. Open a new Prize Picks account using the promo code Monty. You deposit $5, they'll give you 50 more on Prize Picks. What do you got?
I have Buddy from the Brewers, Mizorowski, for more than 6.5 Ks on a demon.
You're such an why would you
JT
why
Real
would you
Muto.
Why would you do that?
JT
why,
Real Muto.
Why would you do that for the Brewers?
More than 5.5.
Why would you take a Brewer?
fantasy.
Why would you take a Milwaukee Brewer? Why would you do that?
And I have Chase Burns for more than 7.5 Ks on a demon. So
nobody cares.
I know nobody
cares.
Because
you become a hater.
You
become a hater.
What are we doing?
You become a hater, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense. To treat people the way you treat people. It does not make a lot of sense.
No.
And frankly, it is disappointing. It is disappointing that you would take a Milwaukee Brewer, that you would absolutely spat on my shoe and take a Milwaukee Brewer. I just don't understand.
I mean, dude's just trying to make a buck over here, okay?
I hope you never win on Prize Picks again. And
he don't know nothing.
I hope you have an oozing infection by the end of the month.
Timothy.
That's what happens when you play with the Brewers. You those chicks from Wisconsin. Are you kidding me? Lay down with dogs, you're going to get fleas.
Sucking a ding dong.
Check her tonsils first.
Check her tonsils first.
That's probably way too much. But Monty, Trisha Paytas had her baby boy today and named it Aquaman. I have no idea who Trisha Paytas is.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
What are you talking about, bro?
Did you just get back from the Upside Down? Like,
Dude.
what are we missing here?
Bro.
What do we? Yeah, Johnny Gonzalez. Yeah, and donuts. How about Ozzy Osbourne? You don't even know who that is.
Yes.
Ozzy Osbourne dead of who knows what, probably an oozing disease because that guy, that dude, Ozzy Osbourne was a polecat. Like that dude was trolling. And what a career! What a life! What a hard. You want to talk about ridden hard, hung up wet? I mean, Ozzy Osbourne didn't have a good night's sleep.
No.
But what a legend. Do you want to live a legendary life and die young or live a long, normal life and live to like 98? What would you rather do? Be Ozzy Osbourne, bite the head off of a bat, be a rock star, live in Beverly Hills, have your wife go on the pen and just look like Skeletor, right? Like just your whole family's dysfunctional and on MTV or whatever.
But you're a gazillionaire.
But you're a gazillionaire. And then you die at, what was he, 76? Young dude, right? Like, which way do you want to live your life, you guys? Do you want to be boring? Like,
boring can be profitable, right?
Yeah. I mean, but I don't, mainly because I don't want to die at 76.
Yeah, that's
my
really tough,
biggest
man.
issue. I can't imagine. I'm 50 now, and I'm telling you, I have no desire to be
right.
I want to live twice my age at least. Right? Like that's what I'm here for. Right? I had a salad for lunch today. With crock pot chicken breasts. And real tomatoes, real onions, actual like lettuce. How about my wife? How about a round of applause for Mrs. Monty growing tomatoes in the garden? Walked outside, plucked one of her prettiest tomatoes or whatever they're called.
Ohio State.
No, we had some out of the fridge today. But I'm just telling you, it is brutal that Ozzy Osbourne's dead.
Yeah, it's tough, bro.
The life that guy lived. Ooh. But Monty, don't even worry about it. It's just a ridiculous headline, Johnny. What do you mean?
What are we talking about?
I don't know who that is. Yeah, rip Ozzy, Zona. Somebody, okay, now I have to look. If she better be hot, dude. If I'm going to Google search somebody.
Chill out, bro.
What?
Oh,
okay. Okay. Ooh.
Feel like this is, yeah.
An American media personality and influencer known for her offbeat humor, controversies, and online feuds, lifestyle blogs, cosplay, and whatever that means.
Don't you know who I am?
She also appeared in Modern Family, America's Got Talent, and Eminem music videos.
Okay.
Okay. Not to be a hater. This. Okay. I probably need to do.
Whoa.
I probably need to do a before and after on this one because Butt Monty really kind of.
Bro, do you need some booger sugar? What are we doing here?
No. Okay. No. I am fighting a body shaking sneeze right now. I'll have you all know. But it might be vomit based on what I'm about to show you. Let's do the good first. Okay, because the good's pretty good. She's no Giselle Bundchen.
The queen of pad rolling.
But we're okay. We're okay here, right? We're okay. Everything's fine. Well, and then this happened. My bad. Whoa. Whew. That'll cause a bloody nose.
Sorry if you're offended by that.
How do you go from that to that? How do you,
It's called makeup.
Dude, that's
bruh.
And but Monty, I'm never going to forgive you for that. You can't unsee that. You know, life expectancy for a man who reaches 50 is only 82.2. Is that true?
It's tough, bro.
I do get my physical a week from tomorrow. So I'm in great shape. I'm not worried about it.
Hugh Janus.
You know, Ozzy never lived a day in the dark because it was dark that lived in Ozzy.
Right. Okay. See what he did there? It's the opposite.
Amy Adams is way better looking than this gal. Okay, but is that the conversation we're having?
I'm not really sure that that's a fair fight, bro, with all due respect.
Like, are you out of your mind? Like, and listen, Amy Adams, you know, she has her place.
She's a good looking girl.
But isn't she past, though, now? And Amy Adams always reminds me of Pam from The Office.
Yeah.
You guys remember Pam from The Office?
She's definitely got Pam from The Office vibes.
Right? Now, and again, I'm not saying that I got a problem with, I mean, because
that's the one.
Because I don't. Jake wants the thirst trap.
Yeah, that's the one. That's not a thirst trap. That's a red carpet picture, dude.
That's not a thirst trap.
Yeah, come on, dude. She looks good.
Okay, let me put up the non-thirst trap. Okay, let me put up the non-thirst trap. This is the photo I was going to show as, you know, a reference for
what is this, high school graduation
for Amy Adams and her beautiful emerald eyes. And Jake's like, oh no, bro, that one right there. No, nope, down one, left 2, up 3, that one right there. Okay, tell me she wouldn't be a great mom for Caleb Williams crying into her cleavage.
Can you take James off the screen? Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
I'm a little reticent to should
Hello?
I be okay. Okay, now I got to take
Hello.
There, you feel better now?
Yeah, good looking girl.
Do you feel better now?
Yeah. Good looking lady right there.
Okay. Amy Adams or whatever this girl's name is, I already forgot. You guys make your choice. Fair fight.
On.
Oh, my bad. Wrong picture. Okay.
On, bro.
Amy Adams?
Come on.
Caleb Williams' mother? Or Trisha
Kim Kardashian wannabe?
Yeah, whatever her name is and stuff. I've never heard of this girl. I cannot even remember her name.
No.
Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. Which one you got? I think very clearly Amy Adams.
I just don't think that comparing her to Amy Adams is proper.
No, she's very much. Let me get a Kardashian picture. She's very much
blonde Kim K is what that
Kim
has
K,
all over it.
Blonde. Now we don't know if the blonde is natural. Which one? Let's go. This one's kind of close, actually. Not as good. This one? Yeah, let's go this one.
Yeah, that one's close-ish.
I mean, I'm gonna say that Kim K probably had her hair did.
What?
I mean,
Monty, that is all natty.
Okay, there's only one way to find out. And that is to look at the roots on her scalp. But this is very close. See, it's even a gray sweater.
Look at that.
It's even a gray sweater.
I'm telling you, it's Kim K.
That's what she's trying to do there.
Yeah. And again, nothing wrong with that, but that's just what it struck me as.
Yeah. I don't know who that girl is, but hey, that's cool.
Maybe that means we're getting old.
Yeah. Amy Adams or Shakira. You mean Shakira?
Amy Adams.
Amy Adams. Amy Adams looks like a sexy vampire. Sexier vampire. Okay. Dude why choose violence? Oh, James, you'll never get away from it. Does she look better than James' former wife, who now is a Walmart? That's the true test. Trisha Paytas was the inspiration for the Bark at the Moon album cover. Okay, if you say so. You know.
You're pretending I know what the Bark at the Moon album cover is.
I'm not going that deep into the interwebs. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. There are federal crimes being committed across this country, and I won't be part of that. Which is how I describe what the Washington Commanders are doing to Terry McLaurin. Now, you would think for a guy who went to Ohio State that he would instantly be paid more. They're only called the Commanders, not the other name. What are we doing with Terry McLaurin?
No idea.
I mean, am I the only one? And I would love you guys to get in the comments section on this after you hit the like button. Okay, real quick. My current wife is way better looking than Trisha Paytas and way smarter. She's a TCU grad. I thought she went to Baylor.
Did you need to clarify? And I'm being genuine here, bro. Like, at one point you said she was a Baylor grad.
Wait, did the Walmart manager go to Baylor? Is that why there's confusion?
What are we confused about here? I really do want to understand. And I'm sorry to pull you away from your charting, but I need some clarity.
He said it was sharding. He's having a bad day with the stomach. Why are the Washington Commanders messing with Terry McLaurin? I will never understand this. He's a guy that, for those of you who don't know, he's going to be an unrestricted free agent a year from now. Pay the man. Pay the man. He is in that second cut of wide receiver in this league that is very hard to find.
He is the best wide receiver on your team. And you're a team with a second-year quarterback who loves to throw the deep ball. Why are you not paying Terry? Can I just ask, like why? The dude has done nothing but say he wants to retire as a commander. And he wants to do that. But he's also said, if you're unwilling to pay me, I am going to hold out and, I'll wait.
What is this? Year 7 now?
The guy is a stud, dude.
6,379 yards, 38 touchdowns. And he's lost one fumble in his entire career.
Like, what are we even talking about?
He averages 14 yards a catch. And you look at the fact that he went to Ohio State, and I just don't know how you do Terry McLaurin like this. This is a huge mistake. He was clearly the go-to guy for skinny guy last year. I mean, 13
skinny guy,
Jaden Daniels. 13 touchdowns, a career high, a breakout touchdown year by any measure. Oh, that's right. You finally had a quarterback who could throw the ball. And now you don't want to pay his best receiver.
Idiots.
That's
just so stupid.
It makes no sense to me. And I mean, we can pick between the two. Yeah, Terry absolutely deserves it. Terry no showing McLaurin. Yeah, he didn't show up today. He did not. Terry deserves it. Yes, he does. Trey Hendrickson is holding out as well. And this is just who the Cincinnati Bengals are.
Yeah, we got to talk about, what's his name? Mike?
Oh, boy. It's not Mike. It's Mr. Brown, if you don't mind. And if it was just Trey Hendrickson, okay, but what about Shamar?
So we say that if he got involved in conduct detrimental, we'd have the right to terminate the guaranteed part for the back years. He says, or his agent says, oh no, you can terminate the guaranteed part only for the remaining part of the year in which the event occurs. Oddly, something like this has never occurred in my memory with us. I don't think it's going to occur. So we're sitting here arguing over something that I think is pretty remote. And I ask myself sometimes why the hell we're doing it, but we are. And he's doing it too. And at some point we got to put this stuff behind and just get him signed and get him up here and get him so he can be a contributor. He needs to get underway soon. It doesn't help him or us to have this strung out.
What? Okay, wait. So it's not only that Trey Hendrickson isn't at Bengals camp. This is Shamar Stewart we're talking about. A really good player who will likely be your replacement for, come on, say it with me, Trey Hendrickson. So you don't want to pay either one of them. And you just said, well, we're arguing over something that I've never seen happen before, so I'm not really sure why we're arguing over it, but we are, so we're gonna. You're the Cincinnati Bengals, man. That's why this is where the Bengals are every single year. It's why Carson Palmer held out on you. It's why you can go back in the history of the Bengals, and it's constant issues. Constant issues. And you're good enough, you're just not good enough. And it's why I am surprised that T and Jamar and the Cigar are all under contract together, because they don't usually do that. They usually handle their business this way. And if I am the Cincinnati Bengals, Shamar is absolutely the priority. I would trade how many? There's got to be half a dozen teams that need a top end pass rush guy, not to mention not in the conference. I don't know, the Detroit Lions could absolutely, the Chicago Bears could absolutely, now, do you want to trade him to Buffalo? Probably not. Do you want to trade him to Kansas City? Absolutely not. But do you care if he goes to the Chargers? Do you care if he goes to the Rams? Do you care if he goes to the Seahawks? Do you care if he goes to Minnesota? No. Why are you hanging on to him? Right? Okay, I understand you want to speak ill of the dead, which is essentially what you're doing of Trey Hendrickson, because now I don't know how he ever plays another down for you.
Yeah, and dude's posting that he's in Florida.
And he gave an exclusive to Diana Rossini today, where he said, I didn't want to be a distraction to training camp because everybody would be asking me about it. And I don't want to be the one that everybody's tweeting about. When you should be talking about the football team, I don't want them talking about my contract, so I'm not there. I'm just telling you, you have so many NFC clubs who need a defensive end, pass rusher. Trade the guy. Trade him. But you can't trade him because your prize rookie, you think he's going to be a criminal, so you don't want to pay him even though you've never seen it, so you don't know why you're arguing about it, but you are, so we're going to.
Right. Yep.
The Cincinnati Bengals.
And then you wonder why you can't figure it out.
It's wild to me that we do this. It's wild. Trey is about the only standout on D in Cincinnati. They're really solid defensively, in my opinion. Like I don't have a whole lot of complaints. You would love them to be deeper and better. But isn't that why you drafted Shamar Stewart? Yes. Let him play with Trey for 2 years, learn the trade, and then move on from Trey Hendrickson, who is, by all accounts, one of the best locker room guys in the NFL. But you're not going to do that because you know better than everybody else.
Right.
And you've shown it year after year. And when you're in a division where the Pittsburgh Steelers have gone all in to win a Super Bowl, the Ravens are already, in all likelihood, significantly better than you defensively. You have one of the best offensives in the NFL, and you're messing around with your two pass rushers. I'll never understand it. I'll never understand it.
It's shocking.
When you have quarterbacks, I don't know, that like Joe Flacco and and now I know I don't know anything about the NFL. Anybody see that Shedeur Sanders has already been wildly impressive for the Cleveland Browns to the point where they're talking about carrying 4 quarterbacks. Yeah. Yeah. And here's where when all you guys said that I was wrong about Dylan Gabriel's size, and I can't remember who the guy that was in here was saying, oh, game day matters and he balls out. It doesn't matter. Yeah, so did Doug Flutie until he introduced those Flutie flakes. And what? Yeah, I don't remember either. You can't be 5'3" and play quarterback in the NFL. I think he's 5'10" and left-handed on top of that. Like, is it any surprise that Shedeur Sanders looks amazing in camp already? Like,
no.
It's not. So, but my point is, you have a division where you got to pound the quarterback, right? You have got Cleveland that doesn't really have a starting quarterback. Go get his ass. Aaron Rodgers, not hard to find. And Lamar Jackson's a guy you got to keep in the pocket with a disciplined defensive edge. Oh, I don't know, like Trey Hendrickson. But you don't want to do that. Okay. Brown looked like an old ghost Darth Vader. Didn't he already? I'm amazed by it. What's up? Glenn's got a new avatar.
Oh.
I'd probably be rocking a San Diego State basketball avatar too. Max Crosby needs someone opposite him on defense. They will never trade Trey in the conference, in my opinion. I just don't think he'll do it. Dude. I don't think he'll do it. Johnny Gonzalez, Kyler Murray workout vids prove you can be shorter than Gabriel and still start in the NFL.
I mean, you know, lifting weights and being a key contributor, that could be done at 5'10". That's not a problem.
I'm not playing it. I will not be pimped out for videos on this show. I won't. John Blackwelder. New question. Would you rather die young like Ozzy or old ass like Mike Brown?
Yeah, seriously.
I'd rather die old ass like Mike Brown because that guy has got stacking. That guy is stacking bands, dude. Mike Brown's got more money than God. And that's a lot, you know.
Yeah.
I
just don't feel like the NFL is that difficult to get right, man. Like, I understand, like, hey, you know, there's some complexity to, you know, the money side of it and all of that. Totally get it. But when it comes down to these situations, it's very straightforward, man. Pay the guys.
You got to pay your best players unless they give you clear reason not to. And Trey Hendrickson has not done that.
Yeah.
Monty knows ball, y'all. Damn right. Hell yeah. No dumpster raccoon. Don't tell me how to live my life.
Oh, fucking God.
Yes. Yes. Oh, my God. Lil Jizzy in the hizzy.
Whoa.
Let's go.
Dude.
Hey, man, what's that little car you got? What do you got there, man? You got a Focus ST? Is that what you got there, man? Is that? Oh, I'm going to do it. Is that? You should try to keep up, man. You should. We've upgraded. You should try to keep up.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
X4M competition, you know. Let me know when you turn the corner back there a couple miles. All right, bud? I used to. No, I'm not going to do it. Little Jizzy, it's always good to see you, dude. Good to see you. Trash Panda could be a yes, Trash Pandas for sure.
Trash Panda.
The stadium guy, James. The NFL has changed over the last 30 years, but it's clear who you pay. Need stud DNs, corners, wide receivers, quarterbacks. It's called the skill position.
So wait, I'm still waiting for clarity on your wife, though. But like, who graduated from where?
I don't believe she ever went to Baylor. I think she's just a Baylor fan.
Yeah.
You know, I could be wrong.
Right.
But brought to you by watered down glizzy sauce Skyline chili. There you go. The Monty Mobile is very nice. Yes, it is. Thank you.
Please watch our shorts. And
yeah,
TikTok.
please watch
like
our
them
shorts.
All, share them all.
Go to TikTok. Find the Monty Show on TikTok. Yes, I need you to like my shorts on TikTok. And now the story I hesitate to bring up.
Do I need to leave the room while you knee pat him or
Gel Nails says that he is in the best.
Gel Nails.
Gel Nails says he's in the best shape of his life and he'd like to set records.
Being the first 4,000-yard passer in Bears history, that's a goal of mine. 70% completion that helps the team, keeps us on the field, puts us in better positions. And then other than that, just trying to go down and, score the most points that we can with each drive that we have. So, that's kind of my self goal. And obviously other than that, you got to go win. That's success for me. That's success for the team. And that's all we wish for and all I wish for.
Okay. Here's the question. And I'm not being a jerk about this. Is he aiming high enough? The Bears have never had a 4,000-yard passer. And he had a hell of a year last year. He was sacked.
Like 800 times.
Jake, can you call the ESPN Stats and Information Department? I believe there's a typo on the Caleb Williams page because I think it says he was sacked 68 times. I don't believe that's can be true. Wait a minute. Is it true that he lost 466 yards on 68 sacks last year? And wait, he still threw 3,541 yards and 20 touchdowns with only 6 interceptions. Wait, but I thought he was a bust and he sucks because he paints his nails and he snuggles his mom's cleavage.
Bosoms.
Thank you. I thought he sucks. Oh, wait, he doesn't suck. So my question is, he wants to throw for 4,000 yards. You're not going to pick up 458 yards, 59 yards? Now 70% is otherworldly in the NFL. That's really hard to do. Defenses are too good and too fast. But if he doesn't throw for 4,000 yards and 35 touchdowns, I'm going to be disappointed. Because he's that good. I think he should be 4,500 yards and 35 touchdowns. And you start looking at the numbers, and I know, well, Monty, I don't know how he does that, but the skinny reaper in Washington, I totally get it.
You're a homer is the first part.
There's no doubt. But if you start looking at where the 4,500 Mendoza line is, Geno Smith, 4,320 and 21 touchdowns, but 15 interceptions. He's better than Geno Smith. Sam Darnold, 4,319 yards, 35 touchdowns, 12 picks. He's better than Sam Darnold. Lamar Jackson, 4,172 yards, 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 23 sacks. Lamar's an MVP. I think he's capable of far more than Lamar passing the ball. Patrick Mahomes. He's not as good as Patrick Mahomes. 3,928 yards, 26 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, only sacked 36 times. Okay, I mean, how many of those guys threw for 70%? 1, Geno Smith. Well, let's go above Geno Smith. 4,500 yards on the dot. Baker Mayfield, 71.4% completion, 4,500 yards, 41 scores, 16 picks, 40 sacks. Is he capable of doing what Baker Mayfield does? I happen to think Baker Mayfield's pretty good. That's not an accident. Jared Goff, 4,629 yards, 72%, 37 touchdowns, 12 picks. I don't think he's capable of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Burrow, 71%, 4,918 yards, 43 touchdowns, 9 picks. If we're talking about the Commanders, Jaden Daniels, and I know that everybody knows he set records I'm not going to. So let me get this right. Jaden Daniels, who was sacked 21 less times than Caleb Williams, only threw for 27 more yards and 5 more touchdowns, but threw 3 more interceptions. Huh. That's interesting. That's interesting. But wait, that he did throw for 69% completion percentage. So I don't know if Joe Nails can do it. I think he can.
I think you should expect him to.
I think you should expect him to as well.
Got Ben Johnson now.
To be sacked 68 times and be the 17th best passer in the NFL statistically last year. I'm going to say that's not bad. And I look at the wide receivers in that room now. Luther Burden, Rome Odunze, DJ Moore. That's a pretty good 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, Jim Rome Odunze, you know.
Cole Kmet and probably Colston Loveland. Pretty good. Not bad. Colston's hurt right now. A little bit of a pull, but he should be fine. And then you add in like Ty Scott, Devin Duvernay. You're pretty good. I don't know if we're going to be able to run the ball, but we did spend $60 million on the offensive line. And you still have a pretty good defense. Grady Jarrett comes over, like, yeah, that to Montez Sweat, Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards. It's terrible news that Jalen Johnson's out probably into the first month of the season. That's not good. But defensively, we're going to be better. I don't know. I expect him to meet his goal.
Right.
You know. Those other QBs don't have Jim Rome Odunze. That's very true, Mike Smith.
Right.
That's very true. Oak State James, here's what I would do if I were the Bears.
Okay,
wait. Get a pen and paper, everybody. James is giving football advice. Please don't predict an outcome on the Bears. I'm begging you.
Are you sure that you want to read this? Because it's James, and the curse is, it's really tough.
I probably don't want to read it. I mean, I could be wrong.
Read it in your head. Is it a negative comment or a positive comment?
Yeah.
Is he saying they're going to do good or bad?
They need a better left. Bro, we just spent $66 million on the offensive line, and Braxton Jones is fine. Okay. The guy they have now was drafted in the 5th round. Next year, I'd draft a left tackle 1st round. You have no idea what you should do a year from now. What are you talking about? James, this is what you do. You make a statement about a guy just based on where he was drafted. You have no idea if Braxton Jones is part of the problem. You have no idea if Braxton Jones is a capable left tackle. I don't even know how to say, you don't even know who their left tackle is going to be, frankly, because I don't believe that Braxton Jones has the job. I think he's probably going to win the job. But you look at the fact that Braxton Jones broke his ankle at the end of the year last year, and that they have 2 guys behind him that probably could push him, right? I think it's going to be interesting to see if he makes it. Ozzie Trapilo has a lot of upside to him. We'll see. But I don't think you have a better guy. I think your Braxton Jones was fine.
Right.
Then he broke his ankle. So the idea that you would go and draft a left tackle a year, 10 months away from the NFL draft? Hey, guys, left tackle, can you send our pick to the NFL? We're drafting Jimmy the Dicker Kicker at left tackle. Let's go mark it down. What if there's no left tackle when they draft? What if I know left tackle is not a position of need? And how many rookie left tackles establish themselves and dominate? I'm going to say that that's not their biggest need. You still don't have a number 1 running back. I would remind you. There's so many other things that, Monty getting his hopes up again. There's no question. As are you in Detroit. Hope equals future tears. There is no doubt about that. All I said, if you are going to protect Caleb Williams and need a stud left tackle, you don't actually need a stud left tackle. What you need is a cohesive offense.
And what I need is clarification. And you keep ignoring my question. So I'm just, I'm waiting.
I'm telling you at this point, we have no idea what this Bears offense is capable of, because OTAs, and you need to get into camp and you need to see, okay, who are your top 8 offensive linemen? Who are your top 7 wide receivers? Who are your top 4 running backs? Because you know that it's going to be Kmet and Loveland. And Kmet wasn't a big part of the offense last year, much to people's surprise, right? So you have to figure out exactly what that all looks like. You're not projecting you would draft a left tackle right now. There's no part of that makes any sense at all. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maury Alvarez, Caleb needs a better line to get that much production. And he has a fantastic offensive line. He's probably got this. Well, it depends on what you're thinking. And we'll see. He's got one of the better offensive lines in the North, certainly. But Braxton Jones is a question. Coming off of a broken ankle, I don't know how you project that position yet. Right? I think that Ozzie Trapilo will probably be your starting left tackle for the Bears. It's very difficult to come off of a broken ankle as a left tackle. It just is. It is going to be a camp battle, and we'll see how long it takes Braxton to get in there. So, but that's just my opinion. If the Bears win, I think the latest projection from PFF I saw was that the Bears could win as many as 9 games. If the Bears, I would take 9 games today. Right? They're effective. Hey, they absolutely should win a minimum of 9 games. That would be outstanding.
Right.
Right? And then you throw in week 2 at the Lions, right? You throw in week 5 at Washington. I think week 7 and 8, the Ravens and Bengals. That's a very difficult stretch. I mean, the stretch there, somebody hates the Bears. Vikings at Lions, Cowboys at Raiders, at Commanders, right? I mean, if you're a playoff team, you're probably winning 3 of those 5. So you start 3-2, 4-2 against the Saints, 4-3 at the Ravens, 4-4 at the Bengals. Although if the offense is clicking, you have a chance to win that game. 5-4 against the Giants, 6-4 against the Vikings. The Steeler game is probably going to get flexed to the late window.
Yeah, that's a really tough one to say.
Yep. Bears hosting the Steelers.
Honestly, whoever's healthier, I think, wins the game.
And you go immediately from the Giants at the Vikings, Steelers, at the Eagles, at the Packers, Browns, Packers, at the Niners. You end with Detroit at home. Their schedule is absolutely ball-breaking. There just is no... I don't even know how 9 games, I would be over the moon with 9 games. If he completes 65% of his passes and 4,000 yards, give the guy the NFL MVP. Like, the defense that he has to put out there is going to have, the Bears defense is going to have to be elite, because I just think with the number of defenses they face, look at all the elite defenses they face. The Vikings will be better, probably not elite. The Lions, you have to wait and see what Hutch is. How does that secondary come together? What does that system look like? But they should be very good. Micah Parsons, we'll see what happens in Dallas. The Raiders won't be great. The Commanders are mediocre. Are they better in year 2 under DQ? I would assume they would be. The Saints will be bad. The Ravens are elite. The Bengals are average. The Giants are average. The Vikings are average. The Steelers defense is elite. The Eagles defense is better. The Packers are average. Browns are average. Packers. Niners will be very good. And by the end of the year, I think the Lions will be very good. I mean, he's got consistent tests. And then you start saying to yourself, the Bears have the 4th best offensive line in the NFL, according to PFF right now. Right? And the only lines that are better than, and I know we need to draft a left tackle, genius, but Buffalo, Denver, and the Philadelphia Eagles are the 3 lines ahead of the Bears. So I'm going to say the Bears are not the issue. I mean, and you look at, and again, I just think James doesn't understand. Braxton Jones, I think, was the 4th highest rated tackle. And I think as a combo, like, I mean, the numbers don't lie. Yes, Monty, you're right. Ozzie Trapillo is a good addition to the O-line. Braxton, you need Braxton Jones and Darnell Wright, who obviously is going to get bumped. They finished among the highest 22 graded tackles in the NFL last year. Do you understand what that means? Like, they're 2 of the best tackles in the NFL. So I think Joe Thuney is absolutely a huge sign. Drew Dahlman was top 5 at his position last year in the NFL.
Yeah, and I think to the Thuney signing, dude, the leadership and the experience is also a huge upgrade.
Yeah, and the guy that you have to look at, in my opinion, is Jonah Jackson. Can he stay healthy? That's going to be, if Jonah Jackson is healthy, this is one of the best offensive lines in the NFL.
Yeah.
And that means DeAndre Swift is taking less hits in the gap, and Caleb has more times. And I would expect them to cut his sack rate in half. And if that happens, they have a chance to win 10, 11 games. But,
totally agree.
We'll see what happens. I think Joe Thuney is good. He is good. Ratledge will be replacing Frank. We'll see. We shall see. My wife's bachelor, University Mary Hardin Baylor, master's at TCU. Me, okay, we didn't ask about you. Me, bachelor's at Oak State, master's at Philip Theology Seminary. James can't just answer a question either. Hey, where'd your wife go to school? Well, she went here, and then, of course, me. Just get back in the Civic, park it behind the rectory.
So, again, though, the question was, I'm asking for clarity. Which so your current wife is the one that went to Baylor, or the Walmart manager ex-wife is the one that went to Baylor? And like how all that worked out.
There you go.
Yeah.
James, you're such a character. Like, did he tag us on Twitter today?
He didn't tag me in anything on Twitter. I've been looking.
Okay.
I was too busy looking at another Georgia, football
Getting arrested.
Getting arrested and allegedly, committing aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. But it's fine. It's fine. We don't have to. It's fine.
Do you blame that on Kirby Smart?
No, I don't. That kid isn't in the system yet. Yes, he's recruited. Yes, he committed.
Says something about who he is, though, right?
It does. Yeah, it does.
I mean, I think it's certainly,
and obviously, hey, it's a Georgia commit. It is what it is. Like, they're wearing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think I would agree with that. All right. One more NFL story that we have to get to today. Does Jerry Jones talk to the media too much? Or is he the face of that franchise? Right? I mean, is the great mosquito assassin the face of that franchise? I think he is, but why would you say this?
Just because we sign him doesn't mean we're going to have him. He was hurt 6 games last year. Seriously. We've signed, I remember signing a player for the highest paid at the position in the league, and he got knocked out 2/3 of the year, Dak Prescott. So there's a lot of things you can think about when you, just as the player does, when you're thinking about committing and guaranteeing money.
I don't get it. And look, I'm not a smart man. Well, just because I signed Dak doesn't mean I think he's going to play. That guy's always hurt. Isn't that what he said?
Yeah.
Yeah, we gave him money, but Dak, he wants to be on a boat with his hottie. He's not been the same since Zeke left. They were such good friends. Didn't you guys watch Hard Knocks? That's what it sounds like he's saying to me. His lips don't move because of all the Botox, but when he
all the
speaks,
salt's on his McGriddle.
When he speaks, I hear him saying, "Oh, just because we paid Dak doesn't mean he's going to play." And did you guys see that my defensive end at Penn State used to roll around naked with guys? Like, Micah's such a kidder that way. Isn't that what you hear him say?
Yes.
Like,
it's terrible. It's awful.
But the thing I ask you, is he even a good owner anymore?
I mean, I don't think he's a good owner anymore. And I do agree. I think he's the face of the franchise right now, unfortunately. And I think that's how he wants it. I think he enjoys doing the media. I think he loves to be the center of attention. I think that Jerry Jones, if, given the opportunity to win a Super Bowl or continue to do the media, would continue to do the media. That's the kind of guy he is. And, Micah tweeting out today or whatever, or commenting that, he doesn't take it personally, but he doesn't understand why contract negotiations haven't been moved forward. I agree with Micah. Like, I don't understand why this is so difficult. And what's really odd about it is that if you look at the Dak negotiation, Jerry waited and waited and waited, and the Dak contract just kept going up and up and up. Like, he could have had Dak at way cheaper than they signed him for. And yeah, sure. Do you want to, we can have a conversation about Diggs or, any of these other guys who, yeah, you paid them and then they got hurt. I get that that's the concern, but that's the business you're in, man. That's the league. Like, you're playing a game where these guys are running into each other at full speed. Did you really think that nobody was going to get hurt? That's just part of the equation and that's why I have so much trouble with clips like this, is because Jerry's just getting up there and being like, yeah, well, there's a lot of things to consider. And when we're going to pay a guy, they miss half the season, that's a problem. And it's like, well, yeah, but you're not on the field, dude. Like,
Micah's going to roll around nude with guys in the shower. He's not going to play.
Yeah, like, dude.
You guys, I'm going to pay him, but that doesn't mean he's going to play. It's weird. I think Jerry Jones likes Jerry
a lot.
And I just don't see any need for him to continue to breathe life out of the Dallas Cowboys. See, I put a comma in there, you thought, but I would not, so I didn't. But my point is, the day Jerry Jones doesn't own the Cowboys or run the Cowboys will be a very good day for Cowboy fans, right? I mean, I think he very much enjoys himself. I think he very much is living the dream, and he's a terrible owner Does he make himself money? Yes. Is the stadium amazing? Yes. Is the practice venue and the conference center? And yes. Is the Dallas Cowboy Golf Club? Yes. But I'm telling you, it's just not, it is, in my opinion, not something that you need to be doing. Talking about Dak Prescott missing games.
Well,
I
your
pay
best
him.
player. Like, you know, like Micah and Dak are your two best players on the roster, and then you've got Lamb, obviously. And, you know, I guess I just wonder, like, does Jerry ever have a strategy with the things he wants to say?
No.
I mean, is his thought that, oh, well, you know, if I talk about him this way or that way, like, it doesn't, the dude just likes to be up on the podium talking. That's his world. And that's why he will not win a Super Bowl, because that is his you know, his issue is that he's too self-centered. He's too concerned about, you know, well, you know, when can I do the media again, or making a statement, or like, that's your issue, dude. Instead of just getting the hell out of the way.
Yeah.
And nobody's even saying you got to be a silent owner, even though that does happen in the league. Like, you have owners who don't talk much. You never really hear from them. And that's cool. I respect that. But you own one of the most popular franchises in all of American sports in the Dallas Cowboys. Like, you, in my opinion, if you're going to own the Dallas Cowboys, you have a bit of a responsibility to handle it correctly. And yes, there is a negotiation tactic with the media. You can do that, but that's not what this is. This is just you. This is just you right before camp opens saying, oh man, Micah and these guys get hurt too much, so that's what's delaying things. Like, that's just not like, and it's the same thing with Mike Brown. And it's the same thing with all these dudes, all these old rich white dudes who own NFL teams, just want to keep making money, don't care about paying guys what they deserve.
But I don't blame them for running their teams the way they run their teams. But Jerry is that particular narcissist who's like, oh, I'm the best owner in football. My wife loves me for me. It's nothing to do. It's nothing to do with my money. Right? Like, he's that guy who will never admit you're a really crappy owner and you probably need to trip and fall.
And listen,
like,
I don't blame the guy. Like, I agree, he's never going to admit that, and I don't blame him for never admitting it. But the difference is like, at least listen to the people around you, right? Like, listen to your kid who's right next to you at the desk.
But is his kid better?
I mean, I think his kid's a little more reasonable. Like, I do think that sometimes, you know, Stephen Jones, you know, tends to do the same thing his dad does, but it just doesn't come off as, you know, in your face, terrible, awful. You know, you want to talk about clickbait. Like, all I need to do for an hour of content is pull up a Jerry Jones press conference and we could talk about where the Dallas Cowboys are going and we're good.
Yeah.
Like, that's the problem. The Cowboys are more known for the things that Jerry says than at this point, in my opinion, than they are known for losing or not performing at the level they need to. Like, when I think Dallas Cowboys, I don't really think about players anymore. I think about Jerry Jones and the next thing he's going to say. Honestly, I do. And no, I don't think they're anywhere close to beating the Eagles or contending for that division. Like, you're going to have to prove that again. And that's what sucks.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what he does. I don't think Jerry's incompetent. I think he's just not good at what he does, in my opinion. Maury Alvarez, hello. Our great Floridian. Was Jerry ever a great owner? I think when he first bought the team, he was. They won multiple championships.
Yeah.
They were a dynasty. Like, it's hard to say he wasn't. Most his teams have ever done is 2 games deep, BBB into the playoffs. Well, I think that he had a dynasty and he had one of the great teams early in his tenure. He has not done much at all of late. I just stood up and applauded when Monty said, quote, Jerry Jones is not a good owner. Monty nailed that one. Oh,
man, that's
amazing.
That's great, dude. Thank you.
The Cowgirls should be more concerned with not losing games by 40 points. Well, they'll be better this year. I don't know. Is Brian Schottenheimer an NFL head coach? We'll find out. Ozzy dies on my birthday, and Jira, we can't get to stop wasting oxygen. Oh, happy birthday. See what he did there? Like, that was a shameless, hey, it's my birthday. Everybody say happy birthday.
That's what they do.
It's the Pope's birthday today, you guys. Go Cubs. Good to see you, Brandon. Jerry Jones needs to be a silent owner. Let your head coach do the talking. Jerry is so old, he looks like Weekend at Bernie's. Well, he's had a lot of plastic surgery.
You think?
Yeah, that's right. Horses. Jera be Jera.
Hey, did you wind up taking your damn left fielder?
Yes.
It went deep.
You're such a jerk.
You took him, didn't you?
No, you talked me out of it.
No, I did not.
Yes. Oh my God.
I didn't talk you out.
Oh my
of
God.
Schwarbs, dude. I said don't get involved on the Yankees. I did not talk you out of Kyle Schwarber.
The good news is I took Bryce Harper for a run and he scored a run. But yes, you did talk me out of my goddamn left fielder.
No.
You didn't tell me not to take Schwarber.
No.
Oh my God.
I told you not to get involved in the Yankees.
All right, so I've already got one in. Bryce Harper scored a run, so that's a winner. So now I need Matthew Boyd to strike out more than 5 and Seiya Suzuki to score a run. We're on a heater on Prize Picks, boys. We are on a massive heater. It is
Stay hard.
One of the things I love about Prize Picks. When you get hot, I always love the degenerate gambler. I used to work for a guy named Peter Brown at Sporting News Radio, and he was a gambler. And he always used to say to me, and he used to call me Timmy. Timmy, let me tell you something. It was like I saw it before the game was ever played. That's how
Timothy.
That's how I'm so brilliant. I see it before it happens. It's a gift. And then he'd go on and lose like $1 million. Not million, literally. But yeah, Peter Brown was an amazing radio host. He won some gambling competitions. But anytime a gambler's like, oh, I can see it before it happens, Monty. Give me a ducat. I'll put it down for you.
Yeah, the gift I like to refer to it as the eBay syndrome.
And no, I'm not giving you a ducat. No. Good old Papa Joe Chevalier back in the Sporting News days used to go to Vegas and win. Promo code Monty. Use it. Open a new Prize Picks account with the promo code Monty. You deposit $5. They'll give you 50 more instantly. What's up, everybody watching the show? Over 7,000 viewers right now. Thanks for being here today. Make sure that you guys give us a thumbs up on YouTube. If you are watching on Twitter, the YouTube link is right above you in the description biography of the show. Also, make sure that you hit a follow right here on the Monty Show here on X. We've had a great run on X the last couple of weeks. I appreciate you guys very much. And if you're listening on the audio podcast, do you guys listen to audio podcasts? Just search the Monty Show anywhere you get your audio podcast. Spotify, anywhere, you name it. We're there. Apple, Google, Chunoming. We're there. Good to be with you guys today. All right, let's get into some non-sports stories. Do we start salaciously or do we start with car talk?
We can start with car talk.
Nissan just killed one of the cheapest cars in the country. The Nissan Versa, which is one of the few remaining vehicles under $20,000 MSRP. Manufacturer suggested retail price. Nissan's a sinking ship. Let's be honest. Nissan has struggled. The Altima is a unit that has moved en masse for them. This does not surprise me at all. The $20,000 car buyer, I'm not even sure exists anymore. Are you surprised by this?
I mean, not particularly, only because I think that market, the I would say the $20,000 to $30,000 market for cars is so saturated now that the value of it just isn't what it used to be. And I think that, too often now people want crossovers versus tiny little four-door commuter. And I also think, all jokes aside, the used market is as strong as it's ever been because cars are being built as well as they've ever been built. And so now buyers are saying, okay, well, why would I spend 20 G's on a new Versa if I can get, a Civic or whatever, a comparable car to a Versa, for less than 20. And it's just as nice, and probably because of the Versa size, a little bit bigger. I mean, that's the hard part. And so I would agree, Nissan's a sinking ship, but I just saw this and I was like, another cheap thing has gone the wayside.
Well, they are closing 7 plants and they are reducing their footprint in Mexico because of tariffs. So they will import far fewer cars into North America. And they are saying that the tariffs make it cost prohibitive. They are also being hit by Canada's retaliatory tariffs. And we're starting to see this now. This is what GM, General Motors, was complaining about a couple of months ago when they said, well, it's all well and good to sell cars in America, but we need to sell cars in Canada. We need to sell cars in Mexico. We need to sell cars in Europe, Australia,
Yes.
and they can't move their units because the tariffs are making the retail price of the car just untenable. I mean, it is, you talk about used cars. One of the reasons that so many manufacturers now are trying to get certified pre-owns is because there's no tariff on that. The tariffs are on the new units, the 2026s and beyond. And you're looking at Nissan. Nissan's really the first one who's openly talking about the stressors. And they're talking about that because they're already under pressure. I mean, this country does not buy cars. We don't. What we buy is crossover SUVs. And I think it is very difficult if you're Nissan to justify producing and running plants to produce a car that you sell for less than $20,000.
Stuff.
And now with the way that the credit is working in this country, and it's interesting, this is the Jerome Powell conversation.
Right.
And people thought Jerome Powell was going to resign today. He did not. But it's very interesting when people start saying things like, let's fire Jerome Powell, the head of the Fed, and drop the rate to 2% because it's at 4 and whatever a quarter right now. You can't just walk in on day one and cut the Fed rate to 2%. And the moment you would take that much off the Fed rate, do you guys understand how absolutely crippling to the economy in this country that would be? I don't think people understand that. And the ones who really don't understand it are the real estate people who are telling you, oh, we need it for real estate. Real estate mortgage rates do not follow the Fed. Now, if you're a car buyer, you want to see the Fed drop the rate. Because all of your manufacturer financing, I just did a deal with BMW Financial, got a great rate. You have good credit, that doesn't hurt you, right? And it's just really interesting to me that the car industry is just being pummeled by these tariffs. And I think it goes back into where's the win on the tariffs? Because what the messaging that's being put out there is, oh, well, everybody's getting a payday on the tariffs coming up August 1st. None of us are getting paid on August 1st.
Yeah, I think that the conversation that actually needs to be had is like, what version of pain do you want the country to go through, right? Because if you cut the rate,
I agree.
That's really going to help people pay down credit card debt, right? I mean, obviously, that's a piece of the conversation. But the issue is that's not a sexy talking point politically in the national sense, right? Like politicians don't want to be out here talking about, well, your average American has this much credit card debt, which is a lot right now. And,
well, look at that story I sent you last night.
Yeah.
That the college degree thing.
Yeah. And so it's like this whole thing where, you send me this story about how, Gen Z is not trying to go to college and get saddled with debt. And like in the article, it talks about how, there are parents who are sitting in college admission offices and stuff like that, crying about how their kid is strapped with 60 G's in debt every single year while they're trying to get their their degree. And then they go out into the workforce and that degree is only good enough to get them like a $60K job, not a high paying job. To which I say, hasn't that been the grind? Like, always? Hasn't it been you go to college and you have to build up? You have to get that first job that doesn't pay a lot, but it's getting you in the door because you have the degree, and then you're able to build up and, make your hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, 7-8 years in. I mean, I don't feel like that's changed a whole lot. But the issue is that once again, our politicians are talking about wanting to cut a Fed rate on the guise of, hey, that'll help the housing market, because then people will have more buying power on other things, which means they'll have more money. But I also think that goes against conventional wisdom as well, because once your average Joe spender or consumer has more bandwidth to spend, they're going to spend.
They go and spend. Look at the subprime defaults on car loans right now.
So, like, are we really going to sit here and pretend that the average consumer is going to have the discipline to say, oh, well, hey, the Fed rate got cut to 2. That means my credit card interest rate is going to go down, which is going to help me pay off my debt. So that's where I should put the extra money. They're not going to do that. They're going to stay in debt, and they're going to buy consumer goods of whatever variety, and they're still not going to be able to get qualified. And then inflation's going to go up because you cut the rate, and now you're really asking for trouble. So that's the problem. And that's where I say, like, I don't think that politicians are stupid overall. Like, I would venture a guess that your average politician has some understandings of economic mechanics, but they're not wanting to talk about that.
And to bring this back to somebody like Nissan, that $20,000 car, and this is why I bring up the Fed rate.
Yeah.
That $20,000 car, who is buying that?
Fresh out of college folks.
Gen Z and millennials. Do you know that the average Gen Z and millennial qualifies as a subprime borrower? That means you're not getting good rate. That means your interest rate on your loan is higher. The defaults in the first 2 quarters of the year were 6.6% of subprime borrowers were a minimum of 60 days delinquent on their car loan. That is higher than at any single point during the pandemic. So when you lower the subprime cost of doing business, when you tell a Gen X or a Gen Zer that, hey, yeah, they cut the rate, we can get you 5%, 7%. They're going to be like, all damn day, where's the Versa? And worse than that, the issue is, where's the Titan, the Nissan Titan, full-size pickup truck? Where's the Armada? Where's the Rogue? 2 nice SUVs.
Yeah.
That they can't afford. Subprime borrowers can't afford that. And so the rate goes down, they get more money, delinquency goes up, because the rate going down does not mean more jobs, right? Remember when we said, okay, well, if we bring down the rate like we did during the pandemic and we give kickbacks to corporations, they'll hire more people. That never happened.
They won't.
What they did is they refinanced their debt and used those. We lowered the rate. The Fed rate was low. Those corporations refinanced their debt to a lower rate, so they paid less interest. And then what did they do with the gains on that refi? Stock buybacks, bonuses for executives. So the idea of coming in and taking the subprime rate, and this is what all the conservative voices want the Fed to do, is cut it to 2% so we can get the economy rolling again. Problem is the economy is rolling. But you have all of these systematic issues that are putting stopgaps in place in a bad way.
Yeah, it's rolling in a non-traditional sense.
Correct.
Like the housing market isn't rolling, but the economy overall is.
Yep.
And that's the hard part. And I think to your point about, a subprime buyer, the other issue that I think nobody thinks about is what makes elite credit? What's one of the major things that a creditor, a bank is going to look for when you buy a car? Oh, well, your history. Length of credit use, right? A reliable, credit history that shows that you've made car payments years on end, because that's what they want to see, right? Hey, if we're going to give you, $20,000 in a loan and call it, $19,000 after your down payment, do we realistically think that a 500 credit score borrower is going to pay the length of this loan?
Do you guys understand? I just did a loan at 4%. On a $100,000 vehicle.
Yeah.
Right now, today, if your credit is 501 to 660, your average APR is 13.22 on a new car. APR is average percentage rate, annual percentage rate.
On a new car.
Used cars are 19% for subprime borrowers. So let me get this right. If I walk into a dealership, I pay 4%. If you, a subprime borrower, under 660, walk into a dealership, you pay 19%. Do you know what 15 points a year on a loan is worth? You can't.
That's got to be
can't even calculate
15
that.
grand.
At the end, by the time that loan's over, hell yeah, it's ridiculous. Arlington Bears, the 2025 Armada is a nice full-size SUV. Yes, it is.
And I agree with that. The problem is, who's going to buy it?
Yeah,
because guys like this who are able to afford $100,000 cars are not looking at an Armada, right? They're going to be looking at either, performance German, whether that's Beamer or Audi, or even Benz, I would say, or they're going to be looking at really nice, probably, like a really nice Tahoe, or like there are a million options out there, but I don't believe that you're really qualified buyers looking at an Armada.
You guys, the top end Platinum Reserve, which is the top end of Nissan's trims for an Armada, is $77,000.
Which, again, by luxury standards, is not really that much.
But do you know I can get into a really good Lexus EV for that? I can get into any BMW, probably right up to an X5. I can get any certified pre-owned unit at any luxury dealership. Like, that's crazy money. And it is. I'm telling you, the Armada's a good unit. I agree. Nissan does not make quality vehicles. It does not surprise me at all. They make some quality vehicles. Fat Jesus, my friend bought a brand new Versa about 10 years ago with roll-up windows. His kid asked, "Are we poor?" Do you know how much we take power windows for granted? Are you kidding me?
But this is my point. This is why I'm saying, like looking at new car sales is a futile exercise. That's not a good measuring stick for how the auto industry is doing. You need to be looking at the used market overall and how many cars are being sold by the secondary market, right? Like Bob's used car dealer, versus how many CPO deals are being done at a Beamer dealer. That's what's going to tell you how people are doing. And I'm just telling you guys, I don't agree with the assertion Americans don't have money, but I do agree with the assertion that Americans are in debt and they are dealing with that debt.
Yes.
And they are not sure where the huge, massive, air quotes, the economy is going. And that's the hard part is nobody, in my opinion, wants to admit that Americans have uncertainty about the future. And what they do know is that every single month they're paying like a G in credit card debt. And nobody wants to be doing that. That's not fun for anybody.
Yeah, I think that's rough. I think that's really rough. And Lamont Tucker gives us $2. Thank you, Lamont. He's also been a member for 23 months, Lamont Tucker. My bad. Here you go, Lamont. Good to see you, my guy. Appreciate you being here. I remember when AC was a luxury add-on for cars and trucks. What about power steering? The first car I ever owned, my Toyota Celica, I don't believe had power steering. Could be wrong. Big Daddy Dallas. How did the SEC do against the Big Ten last bowl season? Who cares? Why does that matter? Do you guys understand that? And this argument, I think, is going to become crystal clear as time goes on. Nobody cares about the Garden Variety Bowl. It just doesn't. It means nothing. It literally means nothing. Johnny Gonzalez, Americans still know about 10K cash card looks like. And when you put a 20,000 sticker on the window, go suck a ding dong.
Well, that's true too. I mean, that's really true, dude. That's a great point, bro.
Suck a ding dong.
I think you have to. Listen, I just bought a really nice car. Who am I to talk? But I think it's very interesting. Somebody like me buys a car. I call my accountant and I think about the business ramifications of it. How am I going to monetize it? Right?
How are you going to not pay out of your pocket for it?
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Like I look at the average subprime borrower. They just want a brass ring. They want to shine like their neighbor shines.
And by the way, when we're sitting here talking about sticker prices on cars and stuff, like even used cars, Like, you wouldn't have done this deal you did over the weekend had you not gotten you got a bunch of discounts on it for loyalty to the dealer because you'd bought a car there before.
Yeah.
And there was a
BMW
lot of those.
financial.
And the thing is, that's the savage part about the system is that the person who can afford a $100,000 car, even a $50,000 car, right? That person is gonna get more of those incentives because the dealer really needs their business right now.
Yeah, it's called super prime. And manufacturers want as many super prime customers as they can.
Yeah.
Big Daddy Dallas says, replying to Lamont, yeah, it's all good, dude. There's no vitriol there at all. It's always good to see you, dude. No, I won't do shows on Friday until football season. We grind our asses off during the football season. We work 7 days a week. I think Big Daddy Dallas asked, why aren't you do shows on Friday? And I work 7 days a week during the football season.
Yeah.
It's really, trust me. It's a grind. Monty, Jake has no idea about the legend of Ozzy Osbourne. Oh, sure he does. Because I make him listen to the music on our drives.
Yeah, I know Ozzy.
Yeah. Big Blue Horses. Bowl games are meaningless in the college football playoff era. And it sucks because Capital One Bowl week. Okay, cool. See you guys. I gotta get my new Notre Dame shirt because we're going to the college football playoff. The one with the helmets where we talk about, Manti Te'o's dead girlfriend. Enjoy the Pool and Weed Eater Bowl, okay? Yeah. All right. Enjoy those Pop-Tarts, okay? Try to save me some Pop-Tarts, bud. All right. We'll see you later. I'm a terrible human. Speaking of driving, Ozzy Osbourne never drove in his entire life. True.
Yeah.
True. Johnny Gonzalez, the Monties of the world aren't walking into a dealership every day in this country. No, they're not.
No, and I think that's...
And don't think I don't realize that.
What?
How lucky I am. But I've made my
I disagree.
luck.
Yeah,
I've
I don't
made
think
my
you're
luck.
lucky. I think that you've
How
earned
fortunate. How I am reaping what I've sown.
Yeah, I am a firm believer. And again, this is part of the conversation, right? Whether you want to talk about politicians or everyday Americans, right?
Well, look,
it's a culmination. What does it say?
Look at what Chris Karn just said. The big, beautiful bill will push me into buying a new truck or SUV this year. I love the new bonus depreciation.
But guys like you who understand that and have that level of knowledge are not the average Joe American, right?
Why did I call my accountant before I bought the BMW?
Yeah.
Because what did we talk about, Chris? Bonus depreciation. How much am I going to get? What kind of tax hit am I going to get? She gave me a number. Done. My wife was like, oh, shit, let's do it. It's that when you... And this is going to sound incredibly arrogant, and I don't mean it this way at all. Just take it as a blunt statement. People who don't have money don't understand how to use money. When you're a subprime credit score, you don't have money in the bank, you don't have savings.
Why are you a subprime credit score?
Right. And you don't understand the tax system or how to use it to your advantage. You don't have multiple income streams, which I think is huge. So when you buy a car, you don't think, well, let me call my accountant. Well, A, do you have an accountant or do you go to H&R Block? Because trust me, I've been through the wars. I've talked about it openly on the show. I've been audited. I have a really good accountant.
Now.
Yeah. Yeah. You learn the hard way.
Through the ass.
You learn the hard. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And I just think that when you don't have money, you don't think like somebody who you have to figure out in your life how to create wealth. Because if you're sitting here right now and you're paycheck to paycheck, you're in a very difficult spot and you're in danger and you don't know it. But wait till your washing machine breaks. Oh, wait, let's get worse. Wait till you have to buy new tires because your tires are bald. Well, see, I bought a car that comes with winter tires and summer tires. Right? Wait until your air conditioning at your house, if you have a mortgage, goes out. Furthermore, wait until you're renting, your air conditioning goes out and your landlord won't call you back. Wait until that something happens. And all of a sudden your hundreds of dollars in the bank that you need to make your rent isn't in the bank anymore. It'll motivate you to figure out how am I going to, because Mrs. Monty and I are doing it right now. My wife's got this unbelievable business idea. Like she hit me on, I think it was Thursday. I can't remember what day it was. One day, last couple of days. She's like, hey, I want to run this idea by you. What do you think? And I'm blown away by it. I am blown away by it. And so now she's got this little egg incubating her business. She's going to start this business that is unbelievable. I've got like 4 income streams. And I'm working on another one. Right? Like, and I just bought a car that's going to pay for itself. And hopefully every month I'll make money on it. And I'm not turoing it. I'm creating content on it. I need you to go watch my shorts. I need you to go follow me on TikTok and watch my TikToks. Follow me on TikTok so I can get to 10,000 followers. I'm only at 7,000. I need to be at 10,000. Right? Like, these are all the things that I'm talking about. But when you're trying to figure out how to pay rent or where you're going to feed your family, or if you're single and you're living in an apartment and you're more concerned about your Fortnite rank instead of your revenue stream that's not attached to a paycheck, do some math here. Put yourself and ask yourself this. How much money do you have in the bank right now? Put that number in your head. How many months of rent is that? Because you need it. If we're being honest, they say to be safe in today's economy, you need 6 months of rent in the bank to be safe, to not worry. 90 days is the minimum. Do you have in your bank account, with that number you put in your head, how much money do I have in my bank account? Do you have 90 days worth of your rent? How many months of mortgage do you have in the bank? I've got more than 90 days in the bank. I've got more than 6 months of mortgage in the bank. That's what you need to be saying to yourself. Stop fucking playing Fortnite. If the answer is, yeah, I've got 90, 60, stop playing Fortnite. Get a part-time job so you can create a revenue stream, whether that's Amazon, whether that is DoorDash. I don't care what it is. Go. Mrs. Monty and I had the craziest. I told you about the girl that her daughter got bit in the arm by a dog. We're in an Uber going to Chicago for the 4th of July. And this lady who won't drive within 5 miles of the speed limit, she was 5 under the entire time, is telling us about how bad her life sucks. And my wife and I are looking at each other like, what are we doing? And then she's like, yeah, my daughter got bit by a dog. What'd you call an attorney? Why would I call an attorney? Like, what? Like, you can't live your life that way because you're on the edge. Like, you are on the edge. You're going to fall over the cliff. Your daughter's going to get attacked by the neighbor's dog and you're going to fall over a cliff. So my point in saying all this is, you have to build a life somehow, some way, and it starts today. It starts right now. Stop playing Fortnite. Stop eating out. You got to stop doing that. Like Mrs. Monty and I we eat out far less than we used to. And the funny thing is, we had a terrible pizza experience over the weekend. My wife got this great certification for her profession over the weekend. We're like, oh, let's order a pizza for dinner. Okay, great. Ordered a specific pizza. I'm not going to name the place. I order it the exact same way every single time. It came completely wrong. Felt terrible. And we both said to ourselves, why do we do that? Why are we ordering pizza? We just shouldn't do it anymore. Because for lunch today, you guys will laugh at me. I made a chicken salad with romaine lettuce, tomato, onion, and tortilla strips. And it was one of the best meals I've had in 6 months. I kid you not. Right? So stop eating out. That's why I bring this up. Stop eating out. Stop playing Fortnite. If you're working full-time, find a part-time job. Oh, you don't have time for a part-time job. Okay. Create content. Start a TikTok channel right now and find something interesting to talk about.
Fortnite.
Make money on Fortnite. If you're playing Fortnite and you're not making money on it, stop playing Fortnite.
If you play Call of Duty or Fortnite and you don't stream somewhere and then just use AI to cut up clips, because it takes literally 5 minutes with an AI app, and then just post those, you're crazy.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
It is. But the hard part is you go through this stuff and you don't You don't have the mindset to scale up your life. So you become comfortable in your 20s, living in an apartment, eating shitty food, not feeling great. And all of a sudden your 20s are now your late 20s and you meet a girl and what happens? All of a sudden, do you think your life changes? It doesn't. Like, I met my wife. We had to grind and build a life together. We moved around the country. I worked at Chili's bar and grill waiting tables. She had a full-time job. I had a part-time job at Chili's so I could be in radio. Like, you have to grind and build a life. They damn near ruined our marriage. Figured it out. And now here we are, right? Like 30 years later almost. But you have to take definitive steps. So there endeth the lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Should Ghislaine Maxwell testify in front of Congress? I think this is one of the most fascinating paradoxes we have ever seen in the history of this country. Because Speaker Johnson adjourned Congress today and will not vote on the Jeffrey Epstein bill or motion to release it. He adjourned Congress so that they could not physically take a vote. Now we find out that Ghislaine Maxwell is on the verge of being subpoenaed to testify in front of committee. And some people believe that she is playing volleyball with President Trump about a pardon. Pardon me, and I won't testify. Pardon me, and we can work on that together. Donald Trump on the other side is like, well, I already lost all kinds of my MAGA support. I've lost so many supporters over the Jeffrey Epstein situation. Well, now what happens if I pardon Ghislaine Maxwell?
Just burying yourself further.
So can quite literally look at this paradox. Can Donald Trump afford to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell? I don't think he can. How do you explain that away?
Well, I would say that the only thing helping him here is that he can't rerun for president, right? Like, obviously, this is his last term. As much as we all want to joke, well, it is. Legally, it's his last term. He can't, you're not getting a third term. That's not how this works. That's not what the rules of the country say. Like, good luck. So unless somehow that changes, for now, he's not going to have, he'll be done after this term. So the only reason I bring that up is to say, he doesn't necessarily have to worry about his approval rating, right? Like, his only responsibility as president, outside of his personal pride with the job, obviously, is just making sure that he doesn't have the Republican Party, or what's left of it, in such shambles heading to the midterms and then obviously the next election through this debacle. So can he afford to pardon her? I don't think he can, just on a personal level. I don't think Donald Trump would ever want to be seen to be giving in or be on the losing end of something.
If he pardons Ghislaine Maxwell, I don't know that anybody with his last name will ever be able to get elected to office. I think JD Vance is already in real trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how do you do this and not release all of that information? It's a crazy jackpot that Donald Trump is in. Like,
and
I don't know.
All of his supporters in Congress are in a hell of a spot because they all voted to not release it and then came out and said it should be released. So, like, Americans aren't stupid. And, I do think the one thing that brings Americans together is cover-ups and stuff like this.
But it's the Tulsi Gabbard, Barack Obama committed treason thing. Well, Donald Trump already had a special prosecutor in his first term that investigated this exact thing and wrote a written statement saying there was no evidence that Barack Obama committed treason. And it's been fully investigated, like, through and through. They were looking to get Barack Obama the second that Trump took office, and he had a special investigator who couldn't find anything. And now you're doing that, and you have all these other, hey, look over here, distraction things. And I just keep saying, this is the absolute terror that Donald Trump can't get away from. And I don't, what would it take for him to get away from this? He can't release the list because in all likelihood he's on it.
Mm-hmm.
Look how many people around him have said he's on it. So you're not going to release a client list because you said it didn't exist now. Can you release a list you said didn't exist? Yeah, I don't know that you can do that. So, okay, releasing the list is off the list. Releasing the grand jury testimony still has not happened. Okay, you could do that in all likelihood. Okay, great. Pardon Ghislaine Maxwell and then what, make a deal with her to say Donald Trump was never a client? Well, that's awfully hard to do, right? You're trying to go after the Wall Street Journal now. And your argument with the Wall Street Journal is that they libeled you, or you're going to have a tough time doing that. The only reason he filed that in Florida is because their laws are the burden of proof is much less, but you're still even going to have trouble doing that. He's got to really, I don't know that Donald Trump has a way to extricate himself from this Jeffrey Epstein
Probably can't get away without some damage. I would agree with that. It's going to be really hard.
I think if you're Donald Trump, the only thing you're hoping for is that your party and your lineage and your legacy is not destroyed by this.
Yeah.
Because you ran on, we're going to release the list, and you haven't released that list. Like releasing the MLK file the other day was another, hey, look over here, don't look over there thing. And you pissed off a ton of people who feel like you slandered Martin Luther King there. That's probably not great. Like I don't know that there's a way for him to keep his legacy intact unless he releases that list and he is not on it. Because if he releases it and says, oh, well, it was stacked and they fraudulently wrote that. Okay, well, if that was the case, wouldn't Joe Biden's last act have been to release the Epstein file before he left office? No, because he didn't have access to it. It was under seal. So
yeah, it's rough, bro.
There's no way home here. There's no way home. But do you think he pardons Ghislaine Maxwell?
I want to say no, but I do think there's a chance. Yeah, because I think
you do.
Yeah, but here's why. Because I think if you're looking at damage control, what's he going to say? He's going to say, "Well, hey,
I don't know what he would say.
I pardoned Ghislaine because I didn't want her." He's going to say something about what she would have testified.
It was a hoax.
It was a hoax. She would have, said a bunch of stuff and lied and or whatever. He would come up with him pardoning her is the only other way to not have the list come out and say, hey, this is what happened. Like, it's the only way to control, like to spin it in some controllable fashion.
Because the mistake he made, and I don't know that a lot of people understand this, the biggest mistake that Donald Trump made was either thinking he wasn't on the list, so he declassified it and unsealed it, which you had to know. If you're on that list, you had to know you were on the list, right? You were on the plane. You were really close friends with him. This Wall Street Journal story only hurts you. It doesn't help you.
Well, and I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to know that him and Jeff were close. Like that's not even a controversial take. Like that's not.
I buy the story that they were very best of friends. They had a falling out over a real estate deal, and the world fell apart for Jeffrey after that. But when was he prosecuted? During Trump's first term in office. When did he die? During Trump's first term in office.
That's the hard part.
Why was all of that evidence sealed under Donald Trump's first presidency? Well, I would assume he sealed it because he was possibly on the list. So when you were running for president the second time, why did you promise to unseal it and declassify it and release it? It was under wraps. You did this to yourself. That's the worst part of it. The Democrats couldn't release it. And now you declassified it and unsealed it. And now you have to release
it. Because you ran on that.
That's crazy. It's just crazy to me.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm not even the guy that's sitting here saying, oh, well, Trump did this and Trump did that. I'm just merely talking optics, right? I'm just talking about what it appears to be, because ultimately in our country, that's what everyone goes off. Hey, what does it look like?
Do you think he's on the list?
Yeah, I think there's a good chance he is on the list, because what we for sure know, whether you're Republican, Democrat, or otherwise, is he was good friends with Jeff. And he also ran with a lot of the Hollywood elites at that time.
Yeah.
And popular politicians, obviously, and business people. So,
Yeah.
so my point is, I'm not saying that I don't know what Trump did or did not do, right? I don't have.
I don't know. None of us know.
I don't know. But what I do know is he was friends with all those people, and we have video and picture evidence that he was very close with Jeffrey Epstein.
Yes.
So do I think he's on the list? Yeah, I think there's a pretty good chance he's on the list. Only because, and again, it's really, I think we do a really poor job of this in the media defining this list. What was this list? Right? The list was, hey, I'm Jeffrey Epstein. These are all the people I deal with, right?
Well, but understand why the list was allegedly curated. The list was curated by Jeffrey Epstein for the purpose of then bribing the people.
Having
that
leverage.
Flew on his plane and went to his island and allegedly engaged in child abuse, sexual child abuse. And so it is believed that Jeffrey Epstein kept a client list, had videos as allegedly seen, like all of this stuff that now they say doesn't exist anymore, which is just crazy to me because where did it go? Right? Like you said it was on your desk, Pam. Where did it go? Like all this stuff. And we only know about it because Donald Trump unsealed it. And they were so excited to talk about it and so excited to release it. And now they didn't release anything. And I think it really pissed a bunch of people off.
Right.
So we'll see. I think it's one of two things. I don't know if he's on the list. I have to believe based on his actions, he is on that list.
Well,
why else would you act this way?
That's the really hard part is like the actions suggest that, hey, like he's got a problem here.
I mean, like the things that you're trying to distract with.
I mean, you came out today and said that the commissioner of the NFL is an idiot for moving the Chargers to LA. Even though the commissioner, while yes, has to sign off on that, is not really the one driving that.
No, and he's not the one who approves it.
Like, come on.
That's what all this college football, it goes back to the bombs in Iran. It goes back to all this other stuff. Like the stuff he said about Vladimir Putin. Now the stuff he's saying about Benjamin Netanyahu. Now this, like the Barack Obama treason thing that you already investigated with a special prosecutor. Like I don't know why else he would act this way. And we're not talking about his legislation that went through. But also, thankfully for him, we're not talking about the economy. We're not talking about jobs. We're not talking about the fact they're not drilling.
Bro, we're not talking about any of the core things that we typically talk about.
Nothing. We are talking about the Jeffrey Epstein list. And to me, it's crazy because has he done a bunch of great things? He hasn't. But maybe he would have done more if he wasn't singularly focused on this. I don't subscribe to Truth Social. I'm not on that platform. But the bots that retweet him, do you guys ever look at the timestamps on his posts? I mean, they're all hours of the night. Does this guy ever sleep? And now the rumors are he may have congestive heart failure. Like, this is killing him. Quite literally, it's killing him. And I don't know, again, and I don't care which side of the line you vote. You're a Democrat, a Republican, a conservative, or a liberal. The president dying in office or leaving office disgraced, who's ever benefited from that? Who's ever benefited from that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Nobody. The answer is nobody. It's an impossible place to be.
Yeah.
So, all right, there you have it. The Monty Show is always presented by The Advocates at theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business, 24/7, 365. Your daughter gets attacked by a dog. You get attacked by a dog. Theadvocates.com. Car accidents, bike accidents. You get hurt. It's not your fault. Get to theadvocates.com. It never costs you a penny out of pocket. Quite literally have nothing to lose at theadvocates.com. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.